subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Clenching his fists, Nexus felt as if he had been reborn in Nirvana, his whole body filled with endless power. Looking at Nexus, who was shining again, the dark eyes of Dark Mephisto still reflected the endless darkness. The two giants faced each other, and in an instant, they both soared into the air, flew high into the sky, and started the final fight with punches and kicks. Two balls of light flashed alternately in the air, fighting back and forth. Mephisto suddenly accelerated, rushed in front of Nexus, and kicked Nexus hard, knocking him to the ground. Then the energy gathered and multiple black lasers were released, but the target was not Nexus, but Sakuta Megumi on the ground. Nexus, who was still falling, had to adjust his posture and get in front of Sakuta Megumi before the light hit the ground. With his hands waving outward, a galaxy-like shield condensed in front of Nexus, blocking the dense lasers. Mephisto was still in the air, setting up his offensive. A dark light wave that was far beyond the past was expanding in his hand. Nexus also threw all his energy into the last cascading storm. The wave begins. The golden and purple-black light waves collided with each other. Sometimes the golden light prevailed. Sometimes the purple-black light prevailed, and the situation was in a stalemate. Final with a bang. There was a huge explosion, and the sky was illuminated by a red flame. In the light, Nexus turned his head and glanced at Gumin. His expression seemed to be determined to leave. The next moment he turned and rushed into the fire, raised his fist, and with a final blow, he disintegrated Dark Mephisto. Under the dazzling white light, the two turned into dust and died together. Inside a fighter jet, before Gumin could come to his senses, a light suddenly lit up, and Jiajun stood in the pure white light and said to him softly, "Light is a bond. It will be passed on and shine again." After saying that, Jiajun's figure suddenly disappeared, leaving only Gumin. We heroes and Himaya. Jun's life ended here. At this moment, the picture dimmed. Seeing this, a sad atmosphere quietly spread in the world. In the Xia Palace, Aizen moved slightly, sighed, and slowly spoke. "I didn't expect to die so soon. It's such a pity to finally find a decent opponent in this world." Ulquiorra below was also moved. Jiajun finally fell into the darkness. Ichi Jinmaru, who had squinted all day, opened his eyes and smiled. "In my opinion, Himaya Jun's death was already destined. Don't you agree, Master Aizen? Is this really the final outcome?" The old Taoist sighed and shook his head, with a look of sadness on his face. Zhang Lingyu was silent for a while, then asked, "Master, did you know a long time ago that Mr. Ji Shizhuan would die?" The old Taoist raised his head slightly and said, "I don't know, but I know that as long as you are a hero, there will be no good ending. After all, no matter what era, it is not easy to be a hero. The loss of such a hero is a loss to the world." Fruit, Robo World. Same. They died together. Pineapple Blowing Snow was stunned, still not quite reacting. He had always thought that things would develop in a good direction, but in the end, they died together. Lu Xiaohua showed grief on his face. Although it may be a bit offensive to Mr. Ji Shizhuan, in fact, dying together may be the best possible ending. After all, even if Nexus regains its light, it will be very difficult to truly defeat Mephisto. Cheng Liuxiang also understood what Lu Xiaohua said. It's such a pity that Ji Shijun didn't get to spend the rest of his life with the person he loves. Perhaps it was destined from the moment he became a Nexus-fit person. In the world of Nexus, in a rental house, watching himself die with Mephisto in the flames. Confusion flashed in Ji Shijun's eyes, but it was soon replaced by an indestructible determination. As he said in the video, "Light is a bond that will be passed on to later generations, endlessly. Since he is the one chosen by the light, even if he knows that he will die ahead, he must not retreat." Thinking of this, he hurriedly got up, roughly bandaged the wound, put on his coat, and went out. He was going to Sakuta Megumi's house. The purpose is naturally to protect her and prevent that old bitch Goroki from abducting her again. By the way, he took this opportunity to properly handle the delicate relationship between the two of them. He didn't want to let an innocent woman be dragged into this dark vortex because of his own reasons. Increase the intensity of the search immediately and make sure to find that bastard Goroki as soon as possible. Kazakura Isuke waved his hand and gave the order. For Goroki, an extremely dangerous person, the Night Raid team will definitely not let him act recklessly as in the video. So the top priority now is to control Goroki. Ikki Kamen lowered his head, and the anger in his eyes could not be hidden under his black hair. This anger was not only directed at Goroki, but also at himself. He still remembered in the video when Riko was framed by Goroki and made into a doll. He could only watch Riko die in his arms, powerless. 683 in this time. He could only watch Himaya June fight alone and finally fall in front of him. He could not do anything and even became a burden to Himaya June. This made Kamen very uncomfortable. He gritted his teeth, clenched his fists tightly, and his eyes gradually became crazy. He hated his weakness, hated his incompetence, hated his cowardice. But, thinking of himself in the picture, he immediately sobered up. He couldn't be so easily affected by emotions. Otherwise, he would fall into darkness again. But he must avenge Mr. Ji Shizhuan. Himaya June, an ordinary person chosen by light, became a generation of Nexus's fittest, fighting for the lights of thousands of homes, no matter how great the difficulties are. He cannot back down. He is truly a man. The video has ended. Characters being cleared. Rewards are being cleared. In the world of Nexus, Ji Shizhuan received rewards. Healthy body, Noah unlock card +3. Healthy body can make the body reach the healthiest state and repair all injuries and diseases in the body. Noah unlock card. You can gain the power to transform into Noah in a short period of time. Noah is the ultimate form of Nexus. His power is far beyond that of Nexus, and he is known as the strongest in the universe. Next video. How many beautiful girls has Nobita charmed? They have such rich experiences with Nobita. Nobi Poseidon, the body of succubus, is not just a name for nothing. Post views. 61. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 117. The beautiful girls who like Nobita even snatched away the girl that Sunio likes. Nexus World. At this moment, Ji Shizhuan was rushing to Sakuta Huey's home. But on the way, a white light suddenly descended and enveloped him. Before he could react, he felt a sense of comfort in his body, as if he was reborn in nirvana. The white light completely dissipated, and Ji Shizhuan felt as if he had been reborn, and the pain in his body was swept away. He hadn't felt this way for a long time. At the same time, there were suddenly 3 more golden cards in his hand. Thinking of the reward given by the light curtain, Ji Shizhuan couldn't help but speak. Could this be the Noah unlock card? Nexus's final form? It should be very powerful. For a moment, he suddenly became confident. Now he was not afraid of Goroki or any other monsters. Of course, there were only 3 of these cards, so he had to use them sparingly. He would not use them unless it was absolutely necessary. What's more, even with the power of Nexus alone, he was not afraid of Goroki at all. In the Kingdom of Light, what? Noah, is that the adult? I didn't expect the reward to be so luxurious this time. Is it Noah's power? All the Ultra Brothers were shocked. As old figures in the Kingdom of Light, they had certainly heard of Noah's reputation. Compared with Noah, even the King of Ultra might be inferior. 7 shook his head. That Goroki may not have a good ending. Taro nodded. But if it's just Goroki, it's a bit too wasteful to use Noah's power. That's right. Nexus in his prime can surely defeat Dark Mephisto. Compared to the people in the Ultra universe who are concerned about the Nexus world, most people in other worlds are focusing on the next video. In the Mermaid Kingdom Sea King, Sophia was startled. Her pink lips slightly opened. Little Harry, does that mean Nobita is the king under the sea? Could it be that it has some connection with our Mermaid Kingdom? Little Harry was also a little surprised. How could this be? It feels a bit strange. Princess, maybe this sea king has other meanings. Sophia tilted her head, her eyes full of confusion. Succubus body, is Nobita a demon? Miyako's beautiful eyes flashed, but soon a trace of doubt emerged. But I read in the classics that succubus are basically female, so Nobita is a boy, right? Huh. Pastor Man stroked his beard and laughed, explaining, succubus is just a title. The ability of succubus is to have a strong attraction to the opposite sex. Look at the previous sentence. Nobita has fascinated many beautiful girls. Saying this, Pastor Man also sighed. Hey, I didn't expect Nobita to have so many peach blossoms. I remember when I was young, I was also a popular girl. Miyako looked at the sparse hair on her father's head, speechless and very suspicious. Nobita's family nanny. Nobita, you are a guy that so many girls like. Damn it. Fat Tiger supported himself on the ground with his hands, his face full of frustration. Why? I'm tall and strong. I have a gentle personality, and I sing beautifully. Why don't girls like me? Everyone was speechless after hearing what Fat Tiger said. The first part was true, but forget about the last two sentences. Sunio also doubted his life. I'm a rich second generation. Why don't girls pay attention to me? It's really strange. Nobita thought for a while and replied, maybe it's because you're too short, Sunio. Puff. 10,000 points of violence. Sunio touched his heart and was very hurt. At this time, Doraemon looked over. But if you think about it carefully, Nobita, you're really popular with women. Shizuka, Shinai, and Miss Beth, there are already 3 people, and every girl is very beautiful. It is incredible. Nobita is not handsome, just ordinary. Nobita laughed. Maybe this is my personal charm. After a while, under the expectant eyes of everyone, the video started. Indeed, looking at the works of Doraemon, whether it is daily or long stories, Nobita has won the favor of many girls with his own charm. But, in fact, the word Doraemon also contains a lot of world lines, and the ending will be different in each world line. In the world line where Doraemon exists, the girl who ends up being with Nobita, getting married, and having children is Shizuka. But in the process of Nobita's growth, in addition to Shizuka, he also met many other girls, some of whom loved Nobita as much as Shizuka did, leaving an indelible impression in Nobita's heart. Nobita's home, woo. I saw in a video that Nobita and Shizuka will get married and have children. Fat Tiger, Sunio, and Doraemon all looked at Nobita and Shizuka sitting together with strange faces and made a few woo sounds to cheer them on. Shizuka's face was very thin, and she immediately blushed and pushed herself into Nobita's arms. Cough, cough. Nobita coughed and felt a little embarrassed. The child's father, look, the video says that Nobita and Shizuka will be together in the end, and they even have a child. Shizuka's mother smiled and said, I'm really curious about what my grandchildren look like. Bastard. Shizuka's father slammed the table hard and said angrily, you are not satisfied with Shizuka, and you have other girls in your heart. You treat my baby daughter like this. It is unforgivable. Shizuka will definitely be wronged if she is with Nobita. What nonsense are you talking about? Shizuka's mother raised her eyebrows slightly. Weren't you like this when you were young? Not to mention Nobita. All you men are the same. Cough, cough. Shizuka's father touched his nose and smiled awkwardly. I just miss my high school days a little bit. Not to mention it's just a thought. This is inevitable. After all, the more outstanding a boy is, the more popular he will be with girls. Nobita is also handsome and has many advantages. It is normal that he will attract other girls. But the fact that he ended up marrying Shizuka already says a lot. The video continued to play. Some viewers may have noticed that I specifically mentioned the world line of Doraemon. That's right, Nobita's original wife was not Shizuka, but the fat girl. It was predicted from the beginning that Nobita would marry the fat girl, and that they would have a lot of fat boys after marriage. So the fat girl is indeed an unavoidable character. What? Fat Tiger was immediately furious, pointing at Nobita and yelling, Nobita, you bastard, I treat you as a brother, and you actually have ideas about my sister? You are such an inhuman. Thinking of the fat girl's body shape, Nobita began to tremble for the money and quickly waved his hand and explained, "Calm down, fat tiger. You see," he said, "the world line without Doraemon, while our world line has Doraemon." After hearing what Nobita said, Fat Tiger also reacted, and after thinking about it carefully, it did make sense. However, due to the arrival of Doraemon, the world line changed and Nobita and Fatty were not together. In fact, in the daily life, Nobita has met many girls who have a good impression of him, clearly like him. No, it can even be said that they are in love with Nobita. For example, Suzy is a beautiful blonde foreign girl. Xiaofu fell in love with her at first sight, however. Due to various reasons, Suzy became more interested in the cute and interesting Nobita and even invited Nobita to her home in front of Sunio. Poor my husband. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 118-118. Nobita's first love. Nobita is a pure love warrior. While introducing, Suzy's picture also appeared on the screen. She had fluffy curly blonde hair, a cute and pretty face, and she didn't look like an ordinary person. Damn it, Nobita, you're going too far. Sunio's eyes were filled with tears. He couldn't believe that Nobita would even snatch the girl he liked. Aren't they good brothers? Zombie world, oh my god. This blonde girl's family is not ordinary. She is from a wealthy family. Bai Xiaofei was immediately envious. If Nobita was with this Suzy, wouldn't he have saved 30 years of wrong paths? And this Suzy is also very beautiful. She is simply the perfect candidate. The scene on the screen continued, but there is indeed a girl in Nobita's life that he can't forget. Xiao Nong, the two played house together in kindergarten, and they played the role of a sweet newlywed couple. Judging from Xiao Nong's behavior, she definitely has a crush on Nobita. Pity because of the trouble caused by Fat Tiger and Sunio, Nobita was forced to bully Xiaonong, which made Xiaonong cry. But even though she was bullied by Nobita, Xiaonong did not tell her mother about it, but looked forward to Nobita coming to play with her again. In the end, Xiaonong went to the beautiful country because of family reasons. At the last moment before she left, she wanted to see Nobita for the last time, but because Nobita didn't dare to see Xiaonong and had to go to kindergarten, she missed the opportunity. This also became a big regret in Nobita's heart. Nobita, you are such a jerk. Zhang Chulan was so envious that his teeth itched. He had lived so long and couldn't even find a girlfriend. As a result, Nobita didn't cherish her at all. That Xiaonong was so cute, and her family was not bad at all. Anyone would cherish her. But as a result, Nobita, this guy, actually went to bully Xiaonong just because of a few words from Fat Tiger and Sunio. He was such a jerk. In the light curtain in the end, it was Nobita who used the time machine to go back to the past, apologized to Xiaonong, and said goodbye to her, which made up for this regret. Xiaonong is definitely an indelible girl in Nobita's heart. Nobita keeps the toys he gave him for her. And Xiaonong should be considered Nobita's first childhood sweetheart. If she appears again, I am really a little afraid that she can more or less shake Shizuka's position. After all, she should be considered Nobita's first love. Magical AO world, wow. What a cute girl. Yes, both the previous Suzy and this Xiaonong are so cute. Damn it, Nobita is so unpopular with women. He is not much older than me, but he knows so many beautiful girls. That's right, and those beautiful girls all have a crush on Nobita. I'm so envious. Every girl is as good as Tao Su. Nobita is so lucky. Xiaomi, Ding Dong, and Ameo were completely attracted by the girls who appeared one after another in the picture. They were not talking nonsense. Suzy, Xiaonong, and Shizuka, none of the girls who appeared so far were inferior to Tao Su. They even felt that some of them might even be slightly better than Tao Su. Seeing them like this, Tao Su's face suddenly darkened. The novel was taken from the Rala's website. Close where you're reading it, and support us on our website for more free novels. Humph. He let out a sigh and walked away. Tao Su, Tao Su. AO called a few times, but Tao Su didn't even look back. She just turned around and left. The third girl, Lillian, was unusual. She was not from Earth. but from a planet that was somewhat similar to Earth. Nobita and Doraemon also came to this planet by accident, and the gravity of this planet is much smaller than that of the Earth. This means that as long as Nobita jumps lightly, it's like he's flying, and no weapons on this planet can hurt him. In other words, on this planet, Nobita is no different from Superman. Nobita is home Superman. Everyone was shocked. After Fat Tiger came to his senses, he immediately became interested. This week is so interesting, I really want to go out and have some fun. When Nobita and Doraemon first arrived on this planet, they did not realize this at first, but later they met a girl, Lillian. The kind-hearted Lillian invited Nobita and Doraemon to stay at her home temporarily. But later, Lillian's father was arrested on the street by the local gang because he provoked the gang. Fortunately, Nobita and Doraemon saw this scene. With their help, they successfully drove away the gangsters and rescued Lillian's father. Then Nobita and Doraemon accidentally discovered that on this planet, they were like Superman. The two disguised themselves as messengers of justice, punishing the illegal things on this planet. It has also been on TV headlines many times, and Lillian has developed a crush on Nobita without any surprise. But at this moment, Lillian does not know that Nobita is Superman. Thanks to the promotion of television, the fame of Nobita and Doraemon spread all over the planet. But the good times didn't last long. Lillian was caught by the gang. After learning about this, Nobita and his partner did not dare to delay and rushed to rescue Lillian. At last, after experiencing a lot of dangerous things, Nobita still rescued Lillian safely, and Lillian also discovered that Nobita is a superhero. Out of her admiration for the hero and Nobita's risking his life to save her, Lillian really fell in love with Nobita at this time. And he also wants Nobita to live on this planet forever. And even Nobita and Doraemon actually have this idea. Pity. In the end, Nobita and Doraemon return to Earth unexpectedly. This Lillian is also a strong opponent, and it makes Nobita and Doraemon almost not want to go back to Earth. Chung Liuxiang sighed. Lu Xiaohua corrected him. It should be that they don't want to go back to Earth. If they hadn't accidentally pressed the takeoff button at the end, Nobita and Doraemon would have most likely stayed on this planet. Pineapple Blowing Snow smiled and said, "If it were me, I wouldn't want to go back either." In the original world, Nobita had to go to a school he didn't like every time, but here he can become like Superman and be loved by the citizens. And there is such a girl who likes him. It's much better than staying on Earth. Chung Liuxiang nodded. If they really didn't go back in the end, Nobita would probably be with Lillian, get married and have children, and Lillian would replace Shizuka's position. Doraemon Universe. Haruo's house. How can I stop? Haruo's eyes were red with envy. Why didn't such a good thing happen to him? If he also went to that planet, with his superhuman physique, let alone being a superhero, he could even be an emperor. Super Beast World, yeah. Huolin Fei stroked his chin and said, "Although Lillian is not bad looking, I still think Shizuka is prettier. It's better to go back." No. Huolin Fei, you don't understand this. Miao Qiaojuan shook his head slightly. With Nobita's power on this planet, what kind of woman can he not find? But I still believe in Nobita. He is a pure love warrior. Post views 53. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 119-119. Nobita's girlfriend is not human. Snow Elf appears. In the light curtain, a similar thing happened. Nobita took a time machine alone and came to the beautiful country in the old Western pioneer era, wanting to prove himself. Because of his amazing shooting skills, he became the town sheriff, and he killed a bunch of gangsters with his amazing gun skills and won the favor of the mayor's daughter Beth. However, after completing his mission, Nobita left without a trace, hiding his achievements and fame, leaving behind only endless legends in that Western pioneering era. If Nobita chooses to stay, there's a great chance that he and Beth will be together. For this story, the audience is relatively familiar with it, because after the title of the Sharpshooter, this video was played. I have to say, Nobita was really handsome at that time, worthy of being able to attract Beth. Yes, it is amazing that a little kid dares to fight against a group of ruthless bandits. If I were Beth, I would probably be fascinated by Nobita. In fact, I really want Beth and Nobita to be together. Miss Beth's big sister temperament is really fascinating. Everyone was discussing it, and as far as the video was concerned, it was understandable that Nobita could win Beth's heart. And if he were someone else, I'm afraid they wouldn't have the courage to fight, but would run away in shame. Doraemon Universe. Western era Nobita. Beth clasped her hands in front of her chest. After watching this video, she couldn't help but think of Nobita's heroic figure, like a sharpshooter in that video. For a moment, her face turned red and she felt a little shy. Although Nobita has gone back, he said he would visit her often, which made her very satisfied. Yeah, Jinja nodded. Indeed, Nobita was super handsome at that time, especially when he was shooting. He was so handsome. Even I have to admit that I was a little fascinated by Nobita at that time. Hearing Beth's words, Kurt felt his heart sank. After all, he had a good impression of Jinja. However, he doesn't have the courage to compete with Nobita. He doesn't know anything except studying props, let alone how to win the hearts of girls. The video on the screen continues to play. But do you think this is Nobita's limit? No, it's far from it. Nobita not only has many relationships with human women, but even many non-human women like and love Nobita. Seeing this, the audience outside the screen felt like they had received a heavy blow on their heads, and there was no emotion in their eyes except shock. What non-human? Am I seeing right? Oh my God, Nobita, you are truly a role model for us. I finally understand why Nobita is called the succubus body. It seems that anyone of the opposite sex can escape, right? This word, I find it a bit hard to accept this. Nobita is worthy of his name. He easily accomplished something that we dare not do. Nobita-senpai, please teach me this. Doraemon Universe, Nanny. Fat Tiger, Sunio, Doraemon, and Shizuka all stared at Nobita and spoke in horror. Fat Tiger felt incredible. Nobita, how could you do such a thing? Doraemon nodded. Yes, Nobita, there's reproductive isolation between different species. In other words, you can't have children. Shizuka also covered her mouth. Nobita, how could you do this? Hearing what they said, Nobita's face was full of black lines. Hey, things are definitely not what you think. The picture on the screen continued to play if you ask me. Nobita's experience with non-human women can be described as truly spectacular. Basically, every article moved me to tears. Moreover, every non-human female's feelings towards Nobita are no less than Shizuka's. They truly like Nobita. What impressed me most was the article about the snow elf. Winter Nobita accidentally summoned a snow elf using Doraemon's props. Judging from Doraemon's reaction, the snow elf seems to be rarely summoned because her personality is a big trouble. Basically, no one makes an effort to stay with her. Nobita is the first one to call her and is willing to play and chat with her. After all, Nobita's character is like this. He treats everyone, whether good or bad. No matter what their personality is, Nobita will be gentle and patient. Nobita's gentleness made the snow elf fall in love with Nobita. At this time, the scene of Nobita and the snow elf together appeared in the screen. After seeing the appearance of this snow elf, everyone outside the screen was extremely surprised because the appearance of this snow elf is exactly the same as Shizuka, but her skin and hair have become snow white and her figure has become better. On the Hyoga star, Kara's beautiful eyes flashed. Is this the snow elf? She is quite beautiful, but why do I feel so much like Shizuka? The doctor nodded and said, indeed, she is very similar. She feels like Shizuka when she grows up. But Doraemon said that she has a very bad personality. Zero seeking flowers, alien world. What, is this the so-called non-human female? Zhang Chulan was stunned. No one told him that she was so beautiful. If this was true, he would be willing. Su Si raised his eyebrows. This snow elf and Shizuka standing together are just like sisters. I didn't expect that Nobita, although young, lived such a comfortable life. Su-san shook his head, a little puzzled. Such a beautiful snow elf. Why no one is willing to summon it? Her personality must be so bad. I'm willing to do anything bad. I'm so beautiful." Zhang Chulan spoke immediately. For a moment, he received contemptuous looks from Su San and Su Si. Zombie world, what the hell? Isn't the non-human a Loch Ness monster or a zombie? How could it be like this? Bai Xiaofei was a little resistant at first, but this snow elf turned out to be so beautiful. As expected, no matter whether it is human or non-human, there is no ugly fish in Nobita's fish pond. But this snow elf doesn't seem to be suitable for winter. How cold would it be to sleep in the same bed at night? But in summer, the snow elf should melt away. Hiss, I feel that although this snow elf looks good, it is indeed not suitable for dating. The video on the screen continued to play. Although the snow elf is very beautiful, her personality is indeed a bit overbearing and bad. Nobita is only allowed to play with her. If Nobita plays with other people, she will attack that person angrily. And if anyone dares to stop her and Nobita, they will be attacked by her. But the snow elf is also a very protective person. If anyone wants to hurt Nobita, they will be met with her tremendous wrath. In the picture, Nobita and the snow elf were playing happily together, but they were noticed by Fat Tiger and Sunio, who happened to pass by. It seemed that Nobita was having so much fun playing with such a cute girl. Suddenly, Fat Tiger and Sunio felt unhappy. Seems interesting. Nobita is boring when he is being funny. Fat Tiger and Sunio smiled at each other. The years of die cutting have made them think of how to tease Nobita. Bang! Just when Nobita was still immersed in joy, a snowball suddenly hit him and hit him directly in the face, causing Nobita to fall to the ground. The snow elf hurriedly stopped and wanted to see if Nobita was okay. But at this moment, another snowball suddenly hit Nobita's face. Post views 47. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 12120. The Snow Elves' terrible possessiveness. In a light curtain snap, the snowball landed directly on Nobita's face, causing him to fall to the ground. At this time, seeing Nobita's confused look, Fat Tiger and Sunio both laughed at him. Stop it! Nobita stood up and shouted, "Stop the nonsense." That's right, Nobita is so arrogant. After that, they ignored Nobita and continued to throw snowballs at him. At this time, the snow elf could no longer bear it, and his fair face was filled with anger. "I won't let you run wild in the snow." Then she snapped her fingers lightly, and in an instant, two towering snow pillars suddenly rose from the snow in front of Fat Tiger and Sunio and rushed directly towards the two of them. In the blink of an eye, the two were buried in the snow. So cool. The two men emerged from the snow, their bodies covered with snow, as if struck by a cold thorn. The two of them didn't dare to continue fighting and quickly turned around and fled. "If someone teases you, I won't forgive him." The snow elf looked at Nobita and said, "Alien world, so domineering. But I like it so much." Zhang Chulan smiled. The character of this snow elf doesn't seem so bad at the moment. Instead, he would attack Fat Tiger and Sunio for Nobita. This strong sense of security is really great. Zombie world, isn't that great? She is protective, beautiful, and has a good figure. What else are you dissatisfied with? Bai Xiaofei was so confused. Isn't this the perfect girlfriend? Snow elves have a very strong possessiveness suddenly. The scene changed. When Nobita and the snow elves were having fun, Doraemon suddenly came over and said, "Nobita, I finally found you." Doraemon. Nobita was slightly stunned. "The kerosene has finally arrived." Doraemon said to Nobita, "Real?" Nobita's face lit up, and then he looked at the snow elf standing beside him. "I say, let's go home and play." "No way." The snow elf put his hands on his hips and refused. "It will melt." At this time, Doraemon suddenly noticed the snow elf beside him and immediately asked, "Who is this child?" "It's a snow elf." Nobita introduced. Hearing Nobita's words, Doraemon's expression suddenly changed, and a trace of embarrassment appeared. "You mean the snow elves? You're in trouble again." Doraemon took Nobita's hand and walked aside, whispering beside him, "Look, the snow keeps falling like this." However, before Doraemon could finish his words, he was attacked by the snow elves. I hate whispers. The snow elf was a little annoyed in an instant. Doraemon was blown away by the snowstorm. Doraemon, Nobita immediately became anxious and looked at the snow elf angrily. That's too much, he is my friend. However, the snow elf had no regrets at all and said nonchalantly, don't worry about the raccoon cat. Let's continue playing. Doraemon Universe. 22nd century, hey. I knew it would be like this. Doraemon sighed softly, having anticipated the scenes in the video. Sharpshooter frowned. What's wrong with this snow elf? It attacks Doraemon for no reason. And if it keeps playing like this, Grandpa's body won't be able to bear it. Who is still playing in the snow in such a cold day? Doraemon shook her head slightly and explained, so the character of the snow elf is a big problem. Even though she looks like a grown-up Shizuka, her character is that of a child. Really? Why did my brother give this kind of prop to Nobita? It's so dangerous. Nobita's home, asshole. This guy actually dared to say that I am a raccoon cat. Doraemon couldn't stand it anymore. This was an insult to his personality. Sunio said this time, although this snow elf looks very similar to Shizuka, her personality is completely incomparable to Shizuka. It's too violent. That's right, that's right. Fat Tiger crossed his arms over his chest and said, it's too dangerous to attack with snow all the time. The image on the screen continued to play. In the sky, Nobita suddenly spotted Shizuka walking down the street. Well, call that child too. Nobita said to the snow elf. Hello, Shizuka. Nobita, on the street, Shizuka, who was holding an umbrella to protect herself from the wind and snow, was suddenly startled. She seemed to have heard Nobita calling her, but she looked around but couldn't see anyone. Seeing that Nobita was so enthusiastic about Shizuka, the snow elf suddenly became angry. Snap! He snapped his fingers, and the surrounding snowstorm became more intense, attacking Shizuka. Seeing this scene, Nobita couldn't stand it anymore. Stop it! However, the snow elf said bluntly, I hate that child. No choice, Nobita had to give up calling Shizuka and continue playing with the snow elf. Fruity Robo World, wow. Pineapple blowing snow was stunned, but he also saw the personality of the snow elf. This snow elf's possessiveness is really too strong. No one except himself can get close to Nobita. Yes, although some are indeed beautiful, but if this be my girlfriend, I still have some resistance. Chung Liuxiang was also frightened by the snow elf. If he really got a girlfriend like this in the future, I'm afraid even his parents wouldn't be able to get close to him. What? This is too unreasonable. Karafuronit. At this moment, she finally understood why the snow elves had bad personalities. Now it seems that it is indeed difficult to deal with. Anyone who gets close to Nobita will be attacked by the snow elves, no matter who it is, even men and women. This is a bit scary. Well, rather than being evil, it's better to say that this snow elf is like a child who hasn't grown up yet. The doctor said, stroking his beard. Most children are like this. They are reluctant to let others touch their things. Snow elves should be like this. As mentioned earlier, snow elves are rarely summoned. Perhaps this is why the snow elves have a personality like that of a child. If you get entangled, it will be difficult to deal with. 3.1 I can't stand it anymore. This snow elf is too much. Adiita couldn't stand it anymore. He even didn't allow his friends to play. This snow elf was really domineering. Well, Xiaozhi touched his head and said, actually, I think it's not bad to have a girlfriend like this. At least she really likes me. But Calula couldn't accept it. For a girlfriend, I have to give up all my friendship and family affection. I can't accept it. Although the snow elf has a rather overbearing personality and a strong possessiveness towards Nobita, this is also because basically no one wants to be friends with her. So, that's why she values Nobita so much that she doesn't even let him have contact with other people because she's afraid that he'll abandon her. But people and snow are different after all. Because I played with the snow elves outside for too long, and the weather outside was very cold. This also caused Nobita to have a high fever in the end. Post views. 38 Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 121-121. The love of the snow elves. Hoshan also loves Nobita. Nobita finally got a fever. This was not unexpected to the audience. After all, it was so cold, and he went out to play in the snow for such a long time. In addition, Nobita was still a child, and his resistance was not strong. It was normal for him to have a fever. It seems that people and snow still can't get along. Of course, just imagine holding a piece of ice in the middle of the winter night. Who can bear it? If they really were together, they wouldn't be happy in the end. People and snow are completely different. If it were normal, I would probably just go to the hospital. But the weather outside was very bad at the moment, and the road was blocked by heavy snow, making it impossible for the ambulance to arrive. In the picture, Nobita was lying in the room with an ice pack on his forehead. He was still panting and looked very uncomfortable. Dad, Mom, and Doraemon all stood by with worried faces. I've already taken a medicine. It should work later. I just hope it doesn't get worse. Outside the window, the snow elf was also looking at Nobita inside, feeling very painful and upset. After all, the reason why Nobita had a fever was because he played with her for too long during the day. Soon, Nobita was the only one left in the room, resting alone. At this time, Nobita suddenly felt his head turn cold, and a very comfortable feeling came over him. He opened his eyes with difficulty and saw the snow elf appeared beside him at some point. Her hand was placed on his forehead, cooling him down. "You are not, chill. Don't move." The snow elf told Nobita not to move. "It's so cold. It must be very comfortable, right? I've absorbed all the heat. I'll be fine soon, thank you." But Nobita reacted quickly. "But if you do this," the snow elf smiled gently, "it will disappear." She also understood the consequences of doing so, but she still chose to help Nobita. It seemed that she was afraid that Nobita would not be able to bear it, so she continued to say, "But it doesn't matter, the snow will disappear anyway." "But you don't want to disappear?" The snow elf had tears in his eyes. "Please believe me, I don't want you to catch a cold. I just want to be with you. I know it's fun to play with you." Hearing what Nobita said, the snow elf was immediately moved, and tears slid down Nobita's face. The next day, Nobita's fever subsided, but the snow elf also disappeared. The snow fairy sacrificed herself to help Nobita get rid of the high fever, and she disappeared in satisfaction. In the coming spring, Nobita looked at the melting snow around him thoughtfully, and he will always remember the snow elves in his heart. Although the snow elf is not a human, she is a rare woman who completely falls in love with Nobita. Seeing that the snow elf would have such an ending, everyone in the heavens and the worlds burst into tears. Wow, I'm so touched. He sacrificed himself to save Nobita. Although the snow elf has some personality issues, she really likes Nobita and doesn't care even if it costs her life. Hey, I really envy Nobita. There's a girl who likes him so much. Pretend I didn't say it. I think Nobita and the snow elf are a really good match. Damn it, this is pure love. The love of the snow elves is so pure that I can't see any impurities. Inhuman world, damn it. Zhang Chulan wiped her tears. Why can such a cliched plot still make me cry? Susie also had a complicated expression and habitually took out a cigarette. What makes you cry is not the cliched plot, but the sincere feelings of the snow elf for Nobita. I have to say, Daxiong is really lucky. Why haven't I met a girl who likes me like this? Fox Demon World. Tushan, are humans and demons really on different paths? Tushan Rongrong looked at the screen, squinting her eyes, thinking. Although some snow elves are not demons, they are not much different from demons. Although the snow elves' love for Nobita is pure, she understands that even if Nobita does not have a fever and the snow elves do not disappear, there is still little hope for the two of them to be together. After all, snow will disappear in spring. Even if the snow elves have the ability to keep the weather in winter, Nobita, as a human, will probably find it difficult to survive. Hatchet World, how can I stop? I also want to be like Nobita and have a girl who likes me so much. Even if she's not a human, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Ito Makoto raised his head and roared. Why can a primary school student get so much love, while he's already in high school and has never been in love? The gap is too big. At this time, a girl next to him suddenly said, "If a girl who is not a human and is very ugly, with acne all over her face, and weighs more than 300 pounds likes you, would you be willing?" Hearing this, Ito Makoto scratched his head. Well, it's a bit difficult cut. In an instant, the girls around me looked at me with contempt. You don't want girls to like you. You want beautiful girls to like you, right? You'd better stop daydreaming. The scene on the screen continued. In another chapter, Nobita Kaiwang conquered the entire back mountain. Everyone's head was filled with questions. The previous snow was already ridiculous, but now there is a back mountain. It's too outrageous. Hello, Nobita. How could you do such a thing? Doraemon looked at Nobita in disbelief. Fat Tiger frowned. The back mountain mentioned here, could it be the back mountain of the school? Doraemon nodded quickly. It must be there. Nobita often doesn't go home after school and runs there to take a nap at 2:30. Sunio looked at Nobita straight. Nobita, you actually developed this kind of relationship with the back mountain secretly. She is the back mountain. Even Shizuka was a little numb. Nobita touched his head, his expression also a little confused. Although I feel very intimate when taking a nap in the back mountain, I don't remember that I have such a relationship with the back mountain. Think about it. It's a mountain and there's no life on it. How am I supposed to talk to it? It was actually the back mountain. Nobita is worthy of his name. He actually tried something that we couldn't even imagine. Mr. Nobita, please accept me as your apprentice. There is snow in front and mountains behind. Nobita's harem is really weird and has all kinds of things. Even if Nobita took his house, I'm afraid I would still believe it now. The world was in shock, but the screen continued to play. Nobita often stays in the hills behind the school here. He can forget all his troubles. So he especially likes the back mountain. I also get angry when someone litters in the back hills. After seeing Nobita's idea, Doraemon decided to take out the prop Soul Soil to make the back mountain have life. Haosan begins to have a close relationship with Nobita. It greets Nobita, prepares a soft bed of leaves for Nobita, gives Nobita delicious fruits, and helps Nobita punish Fat Tiger and Sunio who bully him. Post views 38. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 122. The mountain god appears. I like Nobita. In a light curtain, the lack of understanding from his parents, the disapproval from his teachers, and the bullying from his classmates. Everything in real life weighed on Nobita. Whenever he feels upset, Nobita would come to the back mountain alone, where he could feel truly relaxed and happy. And in his contact with the back mountain, the relationship between Nobita and Haosan becomes closer, and Nobita becomes more and more dependent on Haosan. Even Nobita had no time to care about Shizuka, whom he liked before, and ran to the back mountain after school. Oh my god, no way. You mean that in Nobita's heart, Shizuka's position has been replaced by this back mountain? Huolin Fei was dumbfounded. He didn't want such a pretty girl and went to play with a mountain. Maybe Nobita has a problem with his brain? Tianyu rubbed his chin for a while. I think the reason why Nobita is willing to stay in the back mountain is that he likes the nature and tranquility it brings. Long Jian nodded. It makes sense. After all, judging from this video, Nobita's daily life is really miserable. None of his parents, teachers, and classmates understand him. The one who understands him the most is actually a mountain. It is because of the pressure in reality that Nobita relies more and more on the back mountain. But Miao Tiaojuan frowned. Even so, as a human being, it is impossible to stay in the back mountain for the rest of your life. Although the reality is very difficult, you still have to integrate into the society. Otherwise, you will become a savage, right? Finally, Nobita even ran away from home and fled to the back mountain. Doraemon followed and came to the back mountain. Doraemon took out the mind-calling machine and summoned the mountain god. Mountain god, please show yourself. Next second, a blurry figure appeared in front of Doraemon. She was emitting light all over her body, and her features were so blurry that people couldn't see them clearly. But from the outline of the body, it could be vaguely seen that it is a female image. Are you the mountain god? I have something to ask of you. Doraemon knelt on the ground and said to the mountain god, please tell Nobita not to get close to this mountain again. No. However, the mountain god did not hesitate and said decisively, I like Nobita. Xiaozhi was a little confused and scratched his head. Is this mountain god so proactive? The first thing he said was that he liked Nobita. Kalula was also a little surprised. I didn't expect the mountain god to be a girl. Haha, Atira laughed loudly. I knew that Mr. Nobita would be very popular with girls. Even Sean couldn't resist his charm. The picture on the screen continued to play. Hearing what the mountain god said, Doraemon immediately became anxious. If this continues, Nobita will never want to go down the mountain again. However, the mountain god replied indifferently. So what? I will protect Nobita. Nobita just needs to stay with me for the rest of his life. Talisman World hiss. Xiaoyu felt her scalp tingling. Is this mountain god so safe? She was a little suspicious at this moment, whether Nobita had any superpowers. Otherwise, why did so many girls like him? It was really strange. That won't do. Seeing that verbal negotiations were useless, Doraemon said, even if I have to rely on brute force, I will take him back. Hearing this, the mountain god laughed and said, if you can do it, go ahead. Next second, the surrounding crows suddenly attacked Doraemon, making sharp bird calls. Doraemon subconsciously wanted to run away, but the weeds under his feet suddenly stretched out and entangled his feet. He restricted Doraemon's movements, and then suddenly lifted Doraemon into the air. At this time, countless bees stung him. Doraemon struggled hard, but the next moment, the weeds loosened up on their own. Bump! Doraemon fell heavily to the ground. Before he could catch his breath, he opened his eyes and suddenly found several mice standing in front of him. Rat! Doraemon was so frightened that he flew up, then turned his head and lay on the ground, trembling. Kamen Rider Universe. 01 World Wow. Feijian Oren was stunned. He didn't expect that the back mountain could be like this. Is this the so-called power of nature? If Nobita chooses to stay here, there is really nothing he can do to him. If he really makes the mountain god unhappy, he might just cause a mountain earthquake and basically wipe out the whole army. Strange. Kiryu Sento touched his chin, his face full of confusion. Ryuga, who was standing beside him, clenched his fists and said, damn it, they bullied Doraemon like this. Where did Nobita go? Are they just going to let Doraemon be bullied? By the way, what did you say was strange just now? After complaining a few times, Ryuga came back to his senses and looked at Battle Rabbit beside him. Battle Rabbit said, don't you think it's strange? Although Doraemon looks like a raccoon cat, I remember he said he was a cat-shaped robot. Then why is he so afraid of mice? Yes, Longwa nodded. He hadn't noticed it just now. Aren't mice usually afraid of cats? Why is it the other way around when it comes to Doraemon? Not only them, but people from other worlds also noticed this. They all started to complain. Hey, why would a cat-shaped robot be afraid of mice? Are you kidding me? Doraemon, you said you're not a raccoon cat. How can a cat be afraid of mice? The problem is there is no civet cat that is afraid of mice. It's really embarrassing for us cats. Tom and Jerry World. Tom was lying on the recliner, looking at the light screen with some confusion. Although Doraemon and he don't look like the same species, he is also a cat. How could he be afraid of mice? Mice are small, weak, and delicious. Except for the mouse that is his old enemy. There is basically no mouse that he can't catch. Doraemon universe, it's over. Doraemon held his head tightly, very desperate. If this happens, people in other worlds will also know that I am afraid of mice. Woo! My pride as a cat-shaped robot has been trampled upon. Cats from other worlds will definitely look down on me. The scene on the screen continued. What do you think? Do you want to surrender? The mountain god looked at Doraemon lying at his feet, and a hollow voice rang out. Doraemon raised his head with difficulty. Li Qianho. Return, it's not over yet. Seeing that Doraemon still refused to give up, the mountain god threatened. If you don't give up, I will make you suffer. However, hearing the words of the mountain god, Doraemon remained fearless. No matter what, I will take Nobita back. Doraemon's resolute attitude was incomprehensible to the mountain god, who had only just gained intelligence. Why? If you care so much about Nobita, why are you so harsh on him? Doraemon explained, that's to make Nobita stronger. Even if he feels sorry for it, he has to be the bad guy. After hearing these words, the mountain god was stunned. Please just think of it as something for Nobita's own good. The mountain god was silent. Perhaps what Doraemon said was right. At this time, Nobita's voice suddenly sounded, "Who's over there?" The mountain god didn't want Nobita to discover her true identity, so she turned into a cloud of smoke and disappeared in an instant. Post views. 46. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 123-123. Robot Girlfriend is Luo Puzia Yandere. In the light curtain, Doraemon. Nobita noticed Doraemon in the dark and went forward to check the situation. Doraemon said directly, "Nobita, let's go down the mountain." When Nobita heard Doraemon asking him to go down the mountain, his expression suddenly changed. He stood up from the ground with a look of reluctance on his face. "I don't want it. I want to live here where I won't be scolded and I won't lack food. This mountain will always protect me." Doraemon stood up with difficulty and looked at Nobita's back. "Is the purpose of living just to eat? If you keep doing this, you will be completely screwed. Although maybe not all good things happen every day, it's not all troublesome things either." Doraemon slowly walked behind Nobita and put his hand on Nobita's shoulder. "Come on, let's go back together." "Stop it, stop it!" Nobita suddenly became excited and yelled, "Get rid of Doraemon now." However, Nobita had just finished speaking when nothing happened to Doraemon. Instead, a deep pit suddenly opened up under his feet, and he fell into it. Nobita climbed out of the pit, blinked his eyes, felt very confused, and shouted again, "It's not me, it's Doraemon. Buzz, buzz, buzz." Next second, several bees flew out and surrounded Nobita. 283-inch. Why is this happening? Why? Daxiong didn't understand why Xiaozhi, who had always obeyed him, suddenly changed his temper and drove him away. Big Bear. Didn't the guy in the back mountain say that he liked Nobita? Why does he seem to want to drive him away now? Xiong Air touched his honest head, his eyes full of confusion and dullness. Xiong decided, this guy in the back mountain wants to help Nobita. What Doraemon said is right. How can a human live in the forest forever? If Nobita is allowed to stay there, it will only harm him. Who said that? Xiong Air was a little dissatisfied. Isn't Bald Qiang staying there well? Xiongda was speechless. Look at how big Bald Qiang is, and then look at how big Nobita is. How can they be compared? Besides, Bald Qiang doesn't stay in the forest all the time. He will go back during the new year, okay. That's true. Bear 2 nodded and asked, then Big Bear, do you think it's possible that our forest has life, just like the mountain behind Nobita? Then Bear 2 yelled at the top of his voice, Forest Mother! Forest Mother! You idiot! Xiongda couldn't bear it any longer and punched Xiong Air on the back of his head. He felt helpless. They were born from the same mother, so why were their IQs so different? Hey, Big Bear, why are you hitting me? I call you stupid. You are really stupid. The reason why there are lives in the back mountain is because of Doraemon's props. The picture on the screen continued to play. Looking at Nobita running down the mountain, Doraemon suddenly turned around and said with a smile, "Thank you. It seems you really like Nobita." Xiaozhi drove Nobita out of the back mountain in a way that Nobita hated, just to make Nobita no longer addicted to this place. It doesn't matter, even if Nobita hates me to Nobita. Everything was so incredible and incomprehensible, as if it were a dream. But as Doraemon said, Xiaozhi really likes Nobita. She wants Nobita to face the setbacks in his bumpy life and keep going. Staying here is not everything. There will always be something exciting in life. Doraemon Universe. 22nd century. I didn't expect my great-grandfather to be so charming. Sure, Shio shook his head in surprise. He could even conquer the back mountain. He was really amazing. Doraemon's mouth twitched slightly. Why didn't I know that Nobita had such advantages before? And why do I feel like I'm not a human being when I really like Nobita? On the Hyoga star, oh my god. After reading the story of the mountain god and Nobita, Kara was deeply touched. A mountain actually has such deep feelings for Nobita. It's so touching. The doctor chuckled. This mountain really loves Nobita. She didn't choose to let Nobita stay here, but let Nobita go down the mountain. Knowing how to let go is the so-called love. After all, if Nobita really stayed in the mountains all the time, wouldn't he become a savage? Is there any relationship between humans and mountains? How pure and innocent! In the light curtain, in addition to the existence of living beings, Nobita actually conquered a lot of robots. In an instant, the world was in an uproar. Robot, could it be Doraemon? It's possible. I've noticed something's wrong between them. There must be an affair between them. Really? Why do I feel like it's more like friendship? Even robots are not spared. Worthy of being called Nobita Poseidon, more terrifying than I thought. Do robots know what love is? I doubt it. Don't compare it with those low-level robots. Look at Doraemon. It's also a robot. It's so advanced, it's almost like a human. It should be said that it is an animal. Many people doubt whether Doraemon has a place among the robots that Nobita conquers. After all, the relationship between Doraemon and Nobita is a bit complicated in their opinion. It is friendship, but it seems to be deeper than friendship. It is family love, but it seems that it cannot be summarized as family love. So, some people even start to imagine it in the direction of love. If Nobita and Doraemon knew about it, they would probably collapse and rush to clarify the rumors. Mermaid Kingdom, wow. It's a robot. Mr. Nobita is so amazing. Sophia's face was full of admiration, but soon a trace of doubt appeared on her pretty face. But now I still don't understand what Poseidon means. Although Nobita is really popular among girls, what does it have to do with Poseidon? It's really strange. What do you think, Little Harry? Little Harry responded, Your Majesty, I think this Sea King should refer to other meanings in the human world, but I have never been to the human world, so I am not sure. The human world? For a moment, Sophia's face revealed a yearning look. She also wanted to go to the human world to play. Judging from the content played on the light screen, the human world is much more fun than the seabed. The video on the light screen continued to play. First is Luo Pusey in a short story. This is probably the earliest Yandra. Her personality is simply a super enhanced version of a snow elf. She can attack anyone violently for Nobita, has endless hostility towards other women, and will even attack Nobita for being too close to other girls. But she is indeed devoted to Nobita. Post views 42. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 124-124. The horror of Radish, Shura Field erupts the world of others. On Longhu Mountain Lingyu, the old Taoist priest stroked his white beard and shouted, Master, your disciple is here. Zhang Lingyu cupped his hands and bowed slightly. As a teacher, I am a bit old and I don't understand these new tricks of you young people. What do you mean by this, Yandra? This, Zhang Lingyu was immediately stuck because he didn't know either. He could only answer, I don't know either. I have been practicing for many years and don't know much about the outside world. So, forget it, it doesn't seem like a good thing. Oh my god, Pineapple Blowing Snow was stunned. He thought that Yandra could only be seen in fictional novels or comics. But now a real Yandra appeared, and she liked Nobita. You know, it's not a good feeling to be liked by Yandra, not to mention that Nobita has such a good relationship with women. If he was entangled by Yandra, Pineapple Blowing Snow didn't dare to think about it. That scene would definitely be exciting. There are many worlds in the universe that don't quite understand the word Yandra. Hello, what does this Yandra mean? This is the first time I've heard it. Well, she must be a pretty lady who is sick. Come on, it's probably not a good word. After all, her personality is an enhanced version of the snow elf, and I can't even imagine how terrible her possessiveness is. Woo, I don't mind if I'm a Yandra. I just hope there's a girl who likes me. Back to the light curtain in the picture in the open space. Nobita and Luopuzi were talking about love. Fat Tiger and Sunio happened to pass by and saw such a pretty girl sitting next to Nobita, and they were so affectionate with each other. The jealousy between the men exploded immediately, and Xiaofu pointed at the two of them unhappily. Ah, that's great. Where did such beautiful girls come from? Fat Tiger was so jealous that his fist stiffened. It's a waste to give it to Nobita. Take my ball. The words fell. A spinning ball flew towards Nobita. Super beast-armed world. I have a feeling that Fat Tiger and Sunio are going to be in trouble again. Huolin Fei touched his chin, revealed a deep expression, and spoke slowly. Miao Tiaojuan was speechless. Do you need to tell me this? Wasn't it like this before? Poor Fat Tiger and Sunio. Why do they always have to bully Nobita at this time? In the world of Seer, after seeing the true appearance of Luo Buzi, Xiaozhi frowned. Is this Luo Buzi a robot like us? But why does she look so different from us? There's almost no difference between her and humans. Kalu was also very surprised. Yeah, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known that such a beautiful girl is a robot. Ida clenched his fist excitedly. As expected of Nobita, the Poseidon Nobita, you can even take down robots. You're getting more and more powerful. Kalula looked over and said, do you know what Poseidon means? I don't know. Atiera shook his head immediately. Instantly, Xiaozhi and Kalulu were speechless. If you don't know, what are you talking about? The picture on the screen continued to play. At this critical moment, a scene that no one expected happened. Luo Buzi frowned, and in the blink of an eye he was in front of Nobita, grabbing the ball that was flying towards him with both hands. Next, with a bang, it landed steadily on the ground, and the powerful force even caused the ground to collapse a little, splashing gray smoke. Dare to bully Nobita. Luo Buzi's face was gloomy. He exerted force with both hands, and the solid ball exploded directly, which made Nobita behind him terrified. Next moment, Luo Buzi walked towards Fat Tiger and the other man step by step. His footsteps were like an earthquake, which made Fat Tiger and the other man stunned in place, and they even forgot to run away. I will never let you off easily. Luo Buzi picked up Fat Tiger and Suanfu, one in each hand, and then swung them up like sandbags. Fortunately, Nobita persuaded him. Otherwise, Fat Tiger and Sunio would be in great danger today. After teaching them a lesson, Luo Buzi immediately returned to her original appearance, leaning on Nobita's arms like a little woman. Doraemon Universe. Nobita's home. This radish is so strong. It looks thin, but it is bigger than the fat guy Doraemon. Carrying Fat Tiger is like carrying a child. Nobita was very surprised. This is really a contrast. Hey, Doraemon frowned and said sternly, Nobita, who are you saying is the fat guy? Besides, he is a robot, and his strength must be much greater than you flesh and blood. Is there any need to think about it? Fat Tiger was autistic, covering his face with tears on the verge of falling. Wow, I will never be able to face people again. I was bullied by the snow elves and the radish. It's so embarrassing to be beaten like this by two girls. Zero, please give flowers, Zero Shizuka said unhappily. Since you understand, don't provoke Nobita in the future, really. 22nd century, wait. I seem to have seen this type of robot in a department store before. Sharpshooter looked at the radish on the screen and suddenly remembered. I remember that this robot has 1,000,000 horsepower. Fortunately, my great-grandfather stepped forward to stop it. Otherwise, Fat Tiger and Sunio would probably be smashed into meat patties by her. Zombie world, damn it. Is this little girl so strong? Bai Xiaofei was stunned. Fat Tiger's weight might not even be easy for him to lift, but Luo Buzi lifted one in each hand. Her strength was too exaggerated. She was indeed a robot. He touched his nose and said, it seems that Nobita is really hard to mess with. So many girls are protecting him. If you dare to hurt him, he will probably be beaten into a muggle. Thinking of the snow elves, the mountain gods, and Luo Buzi this time, they're all very strong. The video on the screen continues. No matter how strong your opponent is, I will protect you. After dealing with Fat Tiger and Sunio, Nobita and Luo Buzi were strolling on the road. At this time, Shizuka ran out from the corner in front, walked in front of Nobita, and said with an apologetic look, Nobita, I'm so sorry for what happened just now. Oh, it's okay. After seeing Shizuka, Nobita's face turned red, and he immediately forgot about the radish beside him and focused all his attention on Shizuka. After all, the position of the queen is not called that for nothing. Seeing that Nobita didn't blame her, Shizuka's mood also improved. Really? I have chocolates made by myself at home. Do you want to come and eat them? Although Valentine's Day is a little early, as she spoke, Shizuka took the initiative to hold Nobita's hand. Really, is it possible? Nobita subconsciously wanted to agree, but when he turned around, he was shocked. Because At this moment, Luo Puzi had a gloomy face, and his expression was even more ferocious and terrifying than when Fat Tiger and Sunio bullied Nobita just now. His two eyes were staring at Nobita, and Shizuka's clasped hands like eagle eyes. There is even murderous intent flowing through his body. Luo Puzi walked forward, pushed Nobita away, stood in front of Shizuka, and just looked at her. But Shizuka was not the least bit timid, and just stared at Luo Puzi. Their eyes seemed to be colliding with each other. Post views. 46. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 125-125. She is even jealous of Nobita's mother. This is a Yandere. One Piece World Hiss. Such a strong, killing intent. I can even feel it clearly through the light curtain. Suddenly, Sauron was frightened by the killing intent on Luo Puzi's body in the light curtain. Such a little girl actually has such a strong killing intent, which is really scary. Oh no! Sanji on the side hugged his head tightly. If a fight really breaks out, Shizuka will be in danger. Although Luo Puzi looks like a gentle and sweet girl, she is actually a real robot. The strength is not comparable to that of a human girl like Shizuka. Nobita, you're still watching. Go and stop them. Nami shook her head. I am afraid that Nobita will be beaten first. This Radish's possessiveness is more terrible than that of the snow elf. Tis TSK. The old Taoist raised his eyebrows, and a trace of surprise rarely appeared on his wrinkled face. This little girl is really amazing. I actually felt a sense of danger from her. Zhang Lingyu thought for a moment. After all, the robots in their world seem to be very advanced, so the strength of this Luo Puzi should not be weak either. The old Taoist priest was very emotional. Is this the power of technology? It's really scary. Nobita realized that something was wrong and hurriedly pushed Luo Puzi away. If the two of them really fight, Shizuka with her thin arms and legs won't be a match for Luo Puzi. Shizuka, I'm sorry, maybe next time. When they reached the deserted street, they stopped. Luo Puzi was very angry. How dare you accept chocolate from someone other than me? The scene changes. Nobita and Doraemon walked to the street together, and Luo Puzi followed behind Nobita. Suddenly, Nobita and Doraemon were attracted by the poster on the wall. The poster features a beautiful female star. Wow, it's Marui Mary. So cute. Doraemon said immediately. Nobita also showed a hint of intoxication. Ah, this smile heals the heart. However, Doraemon turned his head slightly. His face suddenly turned pale. Big Nobita. Nobita turned around confused and found that Luo Puzi was staring at him intently, with his fists clenched tightly, as if he would explode in the next second. Nobita and Doraemon were frightened and didn't dare to stay and look at the posters anymore. They had to keep moving forward. Soon, Nobita and his friend met a puppy, which was from Nobita's neighbor's house. Baki, good boy, you're such a good dog. Nobita smiled, squatted down habitually, and stroked the dog's body. Nobita now. Luo Puzi was extremely angry. You are so angry with me for my people. With a whoosh, she flashed past, grabbed Nobita, and then started beating him up. The scene was very scary. They were being affectionate in front of me. I won't dare to do it again, never again. Seeing this, the audiences in the heavens and the worlds were all shocked. This Luo Bozi was really scary. It's okay for girls, but he didn't even allow dogs. It seems like being liked by a girl like this is not a good thing. The novel was taken from the Rala's website. Close where you're reading it and support us on our website for more free novels. That's so pitiful. Nobita. Isn't this robot a little too violent? I don't dare to watch any further. I'm afraid that Luobozi won't be able to accept Nobita and Doraemon sleeping in the same room. Although this radish is pretty, its personality is too scary. Doraemon universe, no way. Why did you hit me? Nobita was scared by Luobozi. Although Luobozi was pretty, he didn't dare to have any interest in her at the moment. If he really stayed with Luobozi in the future, he would probably be beaten every day. Fat Tiger swallowed his saliva. Although he knew that Luobozi was violent before, He didn't expect her to be so violent. Compared with her, Fat Tiger, was nothing. Sunio pointed at Luobozi in the picture. Dorie, you will actually produce such a violent robot girlfriend in the 22nd century. No one dares to buy this model. Mermaid Kingdom snort. This radish is really too much. Sophia pouted and was also very angry about the radish in the picture. Mr. Nobita is really pitiful. This radish said that he liked Mr. Nobita. So why did he hit him? Little Harry touched his nose. Princess, this can't be the Yandra we talked about at the beginning. Radish's personality is really problematic. It's like he is sick. The picture on the screen continued to play in a moment. Nobita, who was beaten up by Luo Puzi, returned home at this time. Just as he arrived at the door of his house, he found Nobi Tamako standing at the door, looking at Nobita angrily. Nobita, where have you been fooling around? What about the things you had to run errands to buy? Oh no. Nobita felt something was wrong and looked back, only to find that Luo Puzi had a gloomy face. Finally, he raised his fist and attacked Nobita Tamako. Bullying Nobita again. Mom, it's dangerous. Fortunately, Nobita reacted quickly and pushed his mother away. Otherwise, if he was hit by Luo Puzi's punch, the consequences would be disastrous. Bump! At last, Luo Puzi's fist fell on the stone wall beside him. In an instant, under the huge force, the stone wall suddenly burst open and turned into piles of small stone chips. Seeing this scene, both Nobita and Nobita were so frightened that they dared not move. Luo Puzi did not stop there, but slowly walked toward the two of them. Oh my god! This Luo Puzi is really a sickly Yandra among sicklies. Zhang Chulin's eyes widened, staring at the picture on the screen intently. He even doesn't let Nobita's mother go. This is too much. It turns out he is jealous of everyone. Susi took a puff of his cigarette. This guy doesn't even let Nobita touch the puppy. So what's wrong with his mother? After all, his mother is also a woman. In Luobuzi's eyes, this is a betrayal of her. Susan wiped the sweat from his forehead. No. If I really live with a girl like this, it will be too torturous. Who can bear it? Zhang Chuan couldn't help but sigh. For point 6, no wonder people on the internet say that it's okay to like Yandra girls. But if you let a Yandra like you, you'd have to be honest. Now it seems that what they said is true. Senior World, hey. Adida was almost mad at Luobozi. What's wrong with this guy? Forget about Shizuka, but she's Nobita's mother. He actually attacked the mother of the person he liked. This guy is simply hopeless. Sai Xiaozi sighed slightly. I finally understand why it is said that Luobozi's personality is a super enhanced version of the Snow Elf. The Snow Elf's possessiveness towards Nobita should mostly come from the heart of a child. And this Luobozi is simply sick. Kalulu also thinks that this Luobozi is not suitable to be a girlfriend. Is too dangerous. If he accidentally meets a girl on the road, this Luobozi will be furious. He can't even help an old lady cross the road. Post views. 41. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 126. Another robot girlfriend, Luli Bluebird. In a light curtain, just when the radish was about to approach Nobita and Tamako, Doraemon's move, he directly touched the switch behind Luo Puzi, turning off Luo Puzi's computer. Call. It was a close call. Miyako breathed a sigh of relief. If it weren't for Doraemon, Nobita would probably be dead or alive now. Pastor Manu also scratched his forehead and smacked his lips and said, "This radish is really scary. If I really fall in love with such a guy, it would be too suffocating." Yes, Miyako was also a little scared. Nobita almost died at the hands of a robot that liked him. The video on the screen continued. Although Luobozi has a terrible personality, not all robots who like Nobita are like this. Next, let's talk about another robot, Luli. Luli was originally a nanny robot from the 22nd century, but after she was produced, it was discovered that she was actually a defective product. Although it is a nanny robot, it always has good intentions but ends up doing bad things, which has led to many complaints from 05 users. So all the Luli robots have been recalled. Although Luli is often reckless, her personality is not like Luobozi. She is very gentle, especially when she treats Nobita so well. She tried hard to bring happiness to Nobita, and Nobita's kindness and thoughtfulness also infected her. The two experienced all kinds of wonderful things together. In fact, Lily should have been recalled by the factory, but two villains stole one from the factory, modified it, and sent it through time to Nobita's home. The purpose is to kill Nobita, because Nobita is the culprit who destroyed their conquest of the world. Doraemon universe. Nobita's home what? Someone actually wanted to conquer the world, and it was destroyed by Nobita. Doraemon's pupils shrank, and their faces were full of surprise. Hey, Nobita, what did you do behind our backs again? Fat Tiger turned his head and looked at Nobita beside him and asked, how should I know? Nobita was also confused. He saved the world again. Shizuka smiled and said, anyway, Nobita, you are really amazing. You can actually destroy the evil people's plan to rule the world. Next, let's briefly talk about the story between Nobita and Luli. Soon, the picture changed. One day, on his way to school, Nobita saw a rare bluebird. He was so happy that he shared the news with 3 female classmates, including Shizuka. Everyone agreed to go to the back mountain to look for the bluebird after school. However, just when Nobita packed up his equipment and happily found 3 female classmates, the 3 female classmates stood up to show for other reasons. They heard that a male star was coming and they wanted to get his autograph. In order not to embarrass everyone, the kind-hearted Nobita could only pretend to be relaxed and say that it was okay and that they should not take it to heart. Seeing that Nobita was stood up by a girl, everyone in the heavens and the worlds was a little surprised. After all, Nobita was too attractive to women, and there were countless girls who liked Nobita. Shizuka, Sana, Beth, Luo Puzi, Xiaonong, Snow Elf, Mountain God, and Lily who was playing now. Not to mention that there might be other girls in the future, and I can't count them with 2 hands. No way. These 3 girls actually dared to stand up Yebi Haiwang. They're asking for their lives. It doesn't matter about others, but why is Shizuka like this? This will make Nobita very disappointed. Yes, aren't you afraid that Nobita will be snatched away by other girls? Actually, it's okay. After all, Shizuka wanted to stay with Nobita, but Nobita was embarrassed to break them up, so he refused. Damn it! Uchida was very angry and clenched his fists. You obviously agreed to it, but you broke the agreement. Besides, what male star? Mr. Nobita is right in front of you. In his eyes, Nobita's status is much higher than that so-called male star. After all, he is his idol. But the result is that those 3 girls didn't cherish him at all. It seems that Uchida couldn't even meet Nobita in person. Kalulu felt sorry for Nobita. Mr. Nobita is really kind. He was the one who was stood up, but he still cared about those girls. In the light curtain, it is said that the blue bird will bring happiness to those who see it, but Nobita thought that he would never meet her in his lifetime. Suddenly, a light shines. Nobita quickly opened the door and saw an unbelievable scene. A sparkling, beautiful girl was teleported into his room. In the picture, Luli opened her eyes, sat up, turned her head towards Nobita, and showed a gentle smile on her face. Nice to meet you. I'm a nanny robot, Luli. Please take care of me. In human world, I'm so envious. Such a beautiful girl was sent to my home. Nobita's popularity with women is too outrageous. Zhang Chuan hugged his head, his eyes red with envy. Su-Sin pushed his glasses. Chuan, calm down. Don't forget that the purpose of this Luli coming here is to kill Nobita, not to talk about love. So what? Zhang Chuan raised his head and shouted to the sky. I am willing to fall in love with such a beautiful girl, even if I am killed. Su-San. Crazy, this guy's been single for too long. He's completely crazy. Su-Si chuckled. I have to say, there's really no ugly girl who likes Nobita. This Luli is really cute. But the 823 robots in Nobita's world are really advanced. No matter whether it is the previous carrot or this time's Luli, they look like real people, and you can't tell they are robots at all. From this perspective, having a robot girlfriend is pretty good, except that she can't pass on the family line. The scene on the screen continued for some unknown reason. Luli was teleported to Nobita's house as a nanny robot. She is best at taking care of her owner's emotions. When the blue fat man returned home, Luli had already coaxed Nobita. Nobita thought Luli was given to him by Doraemon and thanked Doraemon, but in fact, Doraemon didn't know what was going on, so he could only ask Doraemon to investigate Luli to see if the department store had sent the wrong product again. At this time, Nobita felt that the room temperature was a little high. Luli stood up and adjusted her posture, then turned her body into a small whirlwind to cool down Nobita. I have to say that Luli takes great care of Nobita. When she sees that Nobita is troubled by his homework, she helps him finish his homework. But basically, they're all wrong. 127. Mr. Nobita is so gentle. Fruity Robo World, no way. Pineapple blowing snow was speechless and pointed at Luli in the picture. Isn't this robot a bit unreliable? It seems to have a stupid brain. Even elementary school math problems can be solved incorrectly. This is not the robot I imagined. Lu Xiaowa grinned and said, as long as she is pretty, isn't that enough? Besides, Luli is a nanny robot, not someone who writes your homework for you. At present, this Luli is still much more normal than that Luo Pusey. At least she doesn't have such serious, violent tendencies. Seeing that Nobita wanted to taste the ramen on TV, she quickly flew to the scene and snatched the freshly made ramen. Although her behavior was a bit outrageous, Luli did give all her love and tenderness to Nobita. Under the setting sun, Nobita and Luli walked on the street together. But as he was walking, Nobita saw the 3 female classmates who stood him up. Seeing Nobita with a look of loss on his face, Luli quickly asked him what happened. Originally, Nobita just said it was nothing and not to worry about it. But Luli's tenderness was genuine, and her healing smile instantly defeated Nobita's stubbornness. After listening to Nobita's explanation of the whole story, Luli said that it was indeed a pity. Nobita is used to it. He is used to this kind of thing. In the picture, Luli smiled slightly. Mr. Nobita is really gentle. That's not the case. Nobita smiled, but the smile was a little bitter. Luli raised her head. But even if I think about it, I can't help it. I will still feel lonely. Yes, even though I'm used to it, I still feel sad. Luli suggested to Nobita that they go together to find the blue bird tomorrow. Luli promised solemnly that she would definitely help Nobita find the blue bird. Seeing this, everyone in the heavens and the worlds couldn't help but be touched. Luli is really too gentle. This tone that seems to be able to heal the scars in their hearts makes all the male compatriots unable to resist. No, Luli's smile is so healing. It would be great if I could have such a gentle girlfriend. If she weren't a robot, Luli would really be the best candidate to be a girlfriend. So what if she's a robot? Even if she's a robot, I'd still like Luli to be my girlfriend. Don't fantasize about it. Luli is now in love with Nobita. If you want to be with Luli, you have to get past Nobita first. I can't believe that such a gentle girl like Luli actually wants to kill Nobita. Luli herself probably didn't want to kill Nobita. After all, her gentleness towards Nobita didn't seem fake. I mentioned before that Luli was transformed by the bad guys, and now those guys may not have chosen to do it yet. Return to the video on the light screen. Nobita couldn't help but laugh when he saw Luli's serious look, and then the two sides shook hands to show their agreement. Meanwhile, an evil plan has surfaced. As the red button is pressed, Luli is controlled by a mysterious person from the future. She wants to kill Nobita from behind. At the critical moment, Doraemon's voice sounded, forcing the mysterious man to stop temporarily. Luli returned to normal instantly, and she seemed to have no memory of the time when she was controlled. But Doraemon still vaguely sensed that Luli was abnormal and asked tentatively, "Are you really a nanny robot?" After Doraemon said this, Luli hadn't replied yet, but Nobita next to her took the lead to stand up for Luli. What? Isn't it the same as Doraemon if you say it's reckless? Doraemon thought about it, and it seemed to be true. In the evening, Nobita has fallen into a deep sleep. Nanny Luli is very envious of Doraemon, who can take care of such a gentle person like Nobita, and the two of them are so close. Luli knew that she was an incompetent robot, because she was originally a defective product returned by her employer and her final destination could only be destroyed. Ito Makoto raised his head and said excitedly, Lully is not an incompetent robot. Even if she can't do anything good, it's enough that she looks so cute. Those damn future people are so unsatisfied that they want to destroy Luli. What bastard? Although he said so, Ito Makoto was very envious in his heart. It would be great if he was also a person in the 22nd century. In this way, he would not have to spend so much effort to find a girlfriend. Wouldn't it be better to go directly to the so-called department store to buy a robot girlfriend? She is beautiful and has a good personality. Even if she is a robot, what's wrong? In a light curtain, although she didn't know why she was here, she just wanted to accompany Nobita in this short time. While Luli was sleeping, someone from the future controlled her again, and just as she was about to take action, Doraemon made a sound. This made the two people who controlled Luli feel terrified, and they had no choice but to release Luli's control. Doraemon screamed because a mouse got into his closet. Now, the two in the future wanted to continue the plan, but the frightened Doraemon was already fully armed. In order to kill the rats, Doraemon stayed up all night, just in time for Nobita to wake up. Zombie World, no. Looking at the picture of Doraemon covered with guns, by Xiaofei's brain froze. Are you kidding me? Why does Doraemon have so many weapons? I remember that guns were also banned in Sakura. But does that mean that it has been lifted in the future of the 22nd century? That's really strange. Oh my god, even taking out a gun to deal with a mouse. This Doraemon must be crazy. Huolin Fei was dumbfounded. Why did he have so many weapons? Was it necessary just for a little mouse? Isn't this just like using a cannon to kill a mosquito? Meow. Xiaozhi touched his chin lightly. I found that this Doraemon is really afraid of mice. It was the same as the last time with the mountain god. As soon as the mouse came out, Doraemon was scared to the ground. This is the first time I've seen a Doraemon that's afraid of mice. Call, Judge, what a close call. Sophia breathed a sigh of relief. Luckily, I have Doraemon. Otherwise, those two guys would have succeeded long ago. However, she was also a little curious. How did Mr. Nobita ruin their plan? Little Harry shook his head. I don't know, but Luli doesn't seem to know that the program in her body has been tampered with and controlled by someone. I remember that Nobita and Luli agreed to catch the bluebird together. So doesn't that mean there will be the only two of them? Sophia also reacted and covered her mouth. Little Harry, according to what you mean, Mr. Nobita will be in danger. Post views. 42. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are num chapter 128-128. Luli was made to cry. Why did you provoke Nobita? In the light curtain, Luli held Nobita's hand, and the two walked side by side to school. When he arrived at the school gate, Nobita met Fat Tiger and Sunio. In the picture, Fat Tiger hooked his arm around Nobita's neck and said, Hey Nobita, can I switch sweeping duties with you today? Nobita was stunned. Xiaofu said with a smile, My father has a friend in Hollywood who got a ticket to the movie preview. Fat Tiger also laughed. We both have to go, please. Nobita's face showed an embarrassment. Wait, not today, I have a date. Seeing Fat Tiger and Sunio appear again, and still with such an attitude towards Nobita. Everyone in the world mourned for the two for a second. He will definitely be beaten again. No, it's not worth mourning. After all, it was Fat Tiger and Sunio who took the initiative to cause trouble for Nobita every time. If he was honest, he wouldn't be beaten up by Nobita's harem every time. The world of talismans, Uncle Long. I'm sure that Fat Tiger and Sunio will be severely beaten up by Luli soon. Xiaoyu said firmly to Uncle Long beside her. Uncle Long nodded and said, Fat Tiger and Sunio really have no memory. Why do they always cause trouble for Nobita? Xiaoyu, did you see that? Don't learn from Fat Tiger and Sunio to bully others. Of course, Xiaoyu smiled. Uncle Long, I'm not that stupid. The picture on the screen continued hearing that Nobita dared to reject him. Fat Tiger was instantly furious. What did you say? Who do you think is more important? You or Hollywood? Xiaofu quickly agreed. Don't even think about it. Of course it's Hollywood. Why is this happening? I can't spare the time. Nobita still doesn't want to back down. Fat Tiger immediately lost his patience and grabbed Nobita by the collar. Do you want to fight me? Seeing that Fat Tiger dared to attack Nobita, Luli, who already had some opinions about Fat Tiger, couldn't stand it anymore. He directly lifted Fat Tiger and Sunio into the air with one hand each. Please leave it to me. I won't allow anyone to embarrass Nobita. As he spoke, his two arms began to spin, and then he let go of his hands, and Fat Tiger and Sunio flew into the sky. But, unfortunately, it hit a teacher who was passing by. So, after school, the three of them were left by the teacher to clean the swimming pool. Fat Tiger and Sunio put the blame on Nobita, not only beat him up, but also left him alone to clean up. And when Luli comes to Nobita and goes to look for the blue bird together, Nobita vented all his anger on Luli. Although Luli was disappointed, she still wanted to help Nobita clean up. But Nobita is also a man with a bad temper. He said to Luli, "Go back. Wherever Luli is, everything will be messed up." Hearing Nobita say this to her, Luli, who was already in a bad mood, completely broke down and started crying loudly. "Wow, you're making so much noise. If you keep crying, I'll show you how I'll deal with you." Luli cried even louder. For a moment, everyone in the world felt sorry for Luli. This time, what Nobita did was a little wrong. It was clearly Takashi and Sunio's fault. So why should he blame Luli? That's right, Luli is so pitiful. The reason why she attacked Fat Tiger Sunio was to protect him. Damn it, Nobita, how could you say such things to the lovely Luli? You don't know how to cherish her at all. If Luli was my girlfriend, I wouldn't even be willing to scold her. Although Luli did make mistakes, this shouldn't have happened. Instantly, the male compatriots were excited and stood up for Luli. Nobita himself doesn't know. Doraemon Universe, the 22nd century. Sharpshooter touched his chin and said, "Although great-grandpa did go a little too far, this Luli does not look like a qualified nanny robot." Doremi also nodded. "Yes, I found that Luli does things without a limit, so she always means well, but ends up doing bad things. Could it be that when I was searching for information before, I found that this Luli series has been abandoned for a long time? It seems that its capabilities are not yet perfect." Sharpshooter sighed. Perhaps it was because great-grandpa's words touched Luli's heart. After all, she herself knew that she was not a qualified robot. She thought great-grandpa would be able to accept her, but great-grandpa actually said such a thing. It was too devastating. At Nobita's home, "Nobita, how can you say that? Luli has good intentions." Doraemon frowned and felt that Nobita in the picture was a little too much. "Hey, I actually think so too." Nobita didn't refute, but lowered his head and admitted it. Even he himself couldn't stand it. "That's right, Nobita. Luli is so cute. How dare you say such things?" Fat Tiger and Sunio came over. As soon as these words came out, Nobita became unhappy instantly and shouted with clenched fists, "You two guys still have the nerve to say that, in the final analysis, it's all you two who caused this trouble." "Well, hee." Fat Tiger Sunio touched his head and smiled. The current Nobita is not as easy to bully as the Nobita in the picture. If he is really angry, they will suffer. Besides, it is indeed their fault this time, and it is not wrong. The screen continues to play. Now, Luli, who thought she had found the meaning of existence, once again felt sadness and despair. The first employer also said that she was a defective product and would only make people angry everywhere. As a nanny robot, she really wanted to serve everyone and was happy to serve everyone. "But I always fail and fail to live up to the trust of others at this time." Nobita seemed to wake up. Thinking carefully, he and Luli are basically the same kind of people. He should be the one who understands Luli the most. But he chooses to get angry with Luli, who is about to pull her out of loss. Ignoring the agreement that they valued most, the two of them work together to complete the task of cleaning the swimming pool. Nobita asked Luli to go to the back hill to wait for him, while he stayed behind to report to the teacher. After Luli left, Doraemon found Nobita and told him that he must never meet Luli again because Luli was a transformed robot. Her purpose of coming here is to destroy Nobita. It turns out that Doraemon went to the future and learned about the situation. Nobita became a thorn in the flesh of a criminal duo because Nobita's existence seems to have ruined their plans to rule the world. On the other side, Doraemon found Luli in the forest. In the picture, it turns out that Doraemon is chatting with Doraemon about Luli through a remote video. But suddenly, Doraemon's expression changed because he suddenly noticed that Luli, who was standing behind Doraemon, had turned scarlet in the eyes. "Doraemon, behind me!" Doraemon hurriedly reminded, but I was still a step too late. A red scratch flashed by, and the remote video signal suddenly disappeared. Doraemon realized that the situation was not good, and he did not hesitate, and immediately rushed to the forest. Doraemon Universe. At Nobita's home, seeing that Luli's attack was successful, Doraemon, who was a sister con, became anxious instantly. "Doraemon." A trace of worry appeared on his face. "Damn it. Doraemon, please don't let anything happen to you." "Oh my god. Nothing will happen to Dorami, right?" Kara covered her mouth, also very surprised. The doctor scratched his upper lip. "It shouldn't be a big deal. After all, Dorami is also a robot, and the shell is quite hard. But the situation is critical." Luckily, Doraemon came. If Nobita had really been allowed to meet Luli, it would have been very dangerous. Post views. 48. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 129-129. Luli is controlled and wants to kill Nobita. In the light curtain now, Doraemon has been lifted up by Luli. Stop. There was a sound in the sky, and then an air cannonball was fired towards Luli. As a last resort, Luli could only abandon Dorame and move to the side. Doraemon checked Doraemon's injury and found it was not too serious. Under the control of the operator, Luli's eyes flashed red, and then she instantly appeared in front of Doraemon. The speed was so fast that Doraemon didn't have time to react. A heavy blow landed and Doraemon was directly knocked away. Wow. Doraemon came into close contact with the earth and finally stopped when he hit the rock wall. He looked up and realized that this was not Luli's intention, but was controlled by the bad guys. "Luli, wake up quickly. You are being used by bad guys." However, Luli did not stop. She walked slowly to Doraemon and lifted him up with one hand. Then arcs of electricity wrapped around her hands. Under the terrible electric shock, Doraemon couldn't help but wail. "Brother." Doraemon, who was standing by, felt so distressed, but she didn't have the energy to support him. "Zombie world, oh my god." By Xiaofei's eyes widened, and he couldn't help but swear. "Damn, this Luli is too strong. She can even discharge electricity." Doraemon and Doraemon were beaten so hard that they had no power to fight back. On the Hyoga planet, Kara was a little anxious. Don't Doraemon have a lot of props in his pocket? Why doesn't he take them out? The doctor touched his beard and guessed. Maybe he doesn't want to hurt Luli. After all, Luli was just controlled by the murderer behind the scenes, not her original intention. Doraemon might not be able to do it, but Kara was a little worried. "If I don't fight back, I feel like Doraemon will be in danger." Doraemon Universe. 22nd century what? Can it also discharge electricity? Sharpshooter was stunned. He didn't remember that robots like Luli could discharge electricity. And after all, they're just nanny robots, while Doraemon and Doraemon are childcare robots. Their strength shouldn't be so different. Even if they don't use props, they shouldn't be beaten so badly. Doraemon frowned. Those guys may have tampered with Luli to make her stronger. The picture on the light screen continued to play. Luli threw Doraemon down, and Doraemon fell to the ground, still persuading him. "Wake up." However, at this time, Luli has received new instructions to destroy Doraemon's eyes. Luli picked up the steel spike that had fallen to the side and thrust it into Doraemon's eyes without hesitation. Fortunately, Doraemon reacted in time and managed to dodge. But Luli did not give up. She lifted Doraemon up so that he could not escape. Then she pointed the steel spike straight at one of Doraemon's eyes. Just when she was about to take action, Doremi took action. She picked up the air cannon that Doraemon dropped on the ground and shot it towards Luli. Bump! The powerful air cannon blasted out, forcing Luli to stop. At last, the air cannon hit the rock wall, causing a violent shake, causing the huge rocks on the rock wall to roll down. Luli was unable to dodge and was crushed by the huge rocks. And the steel spike also pierced into Luli's body, but under the control of the person behind the scenes. Luli had to stand up again, but now her body was covered with scars. Her whole body was covered in mud, and there was a small hole on her chest from steel spike. Electric arcs were entangled in various parts of her body from time to time, as if she was about to break down. Seeing Luli's current state, everyone in the heavens and the worlds could not help but feel distressed. What Luli did was just the manipulation of the person behind the scenes. She was just an innocent and pitiful abandoned robot. Now she's being tossed to such a state that she is about to be scrapped. It is really unbearable to watch. Assholes, those two guys actually dared to sneak around behind my back and turn me into this state. How abominable. Woo, my Miss Luli, I feel like she's going to break down. After all, Miss Luli is just an ordinary nanny robot, even a low-end one. She would definitely not be able to withstand so many attacks. God damn it. Luli just wanted to help others. What's wrong with her? Zero, please give me flowers at this moment. A familiar voice suddenly sounded. Luli. The person who came was Nobita. He stared blankly at Luli, who was covered in wounds, but he was a little overwhelmed. Doraemon quickly yelled, "Don't come over here. She's not the Luli you know." With a whoosh. Next second, Luli jumped directly in front of Nobita, grabbed his neck, and pushed him to the ground. A strong sense of fear came over him. Nobita looked at Luli's strange and scarlet eyes and felt very painful. Luli, however, it seemed that she had heard Nobita's call, and Luli regained some consciousness. After screaming in pain, she let go of Nobita and fell to the ground, struggling in pain. Zero, run away! Doraemon shouted hurriedly. This is a good opportunity to escape. But, seeing Luli in such pain, Nobita couldn't just run away. He looked at Luli with some worry. Luli. Luli turned around and whispered, "Big male. Yes, I'm Nobita." However, the person behind the scenes became anxious and hurriedly continued to issue orders, asking Luli to kill Nobita. A flash of scarlet flashed in Luli's eyes again. She turned over and placed her hands on Nobita's body, using her palms as blades to kill Nobita. Nobita had no choice but to close his eyes. But Luli's palms suddenly stopped in midair and did not continue to attack Nobita. This is a bit of consciousness being restored. Zhang Chulan was also excited. Sure enough, the plots in those animations didn't lie to me. Even if they are controlled, they still can't do anything to their loved ones. Susie also sighed. It's unbelievable. It's only been a few days since Luli came to Nobita's house, and Luli and Nobita have become so close. Could it be that Nobita is really a succubus? Susan glanced at Susie speechlessly and said unhappily, "How could Nobita be a succubus? But you are right. There must be something about Nobita that can attract girls." Attract girls? Zhang Chulan narrowed his eyes slightly, very envious. If he could have half of Nobita's ability, he wouldn't have been unable to find a girlfriend. Post views. 42. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 13130. Kalyalu. Is this the love between humans and robots? Doraemon Universe. In the demon realm, Manu Priest was very impressed. Nobita is really good. He can even influence robots. Miyako nodded. This Luli is much more humane than the previous Luo Puzi. At least I think she has more people. If I were a boy, I would also think Luli would be a very good girlfriend candidate. In the light curtain, seeing that Luli didn't attack him, Nobita felt that there was still hope and continued to shout, hoping that Luli would regain consciousness. Luli, that you still know me, right? Remember it quickly. Remember it quickly. Next, Nobita then gently held Luli's hand that was about to attack him at the beginning. Didn't we make an agreement? 4, 6, 7. Nobita's words really reached Luli's ears, and she unconsciously recalled the good time she had spent with Nobita during this period. A moment. Tears immediately flowed from her scarlet eyes, and then the scarlet color dimmed, and she regained consciousness. Mr. Nobita. Seeing this scene, the heavens and the worlds finally felt relieved, and Luli finally regained consciousness. He is worthy of being Nobita. To be able to make a robot's mind full of him, it's really terrifying. Do robots have brains? As expected, those anime did not lie to me. The power of love is infinite. Even a modified robot program can get out of control. Although Luli has recovered, I still have a bad feeling. Those two criminals must have some backup plan. Now that you mentioned it, could it be that they installed some self-destruct measures on Luli's body? It's really possible. Isn't this a classic scene from a movie? The scene on the screen continued to play, as the audience expected. Although Luli regained consciousness, the crisis was not over. The two wanted criminals did stay in the back mountain, but they did not stay with Luli, but ran to the 21st century in person. When Nobita was lifted up by Luli, a flash of white light suddenly appeared in the sky, and then a tall robot descended from the sky and stopped right in front of Nobita and Luli. What happened? Doraemon still didn't react. Nobita, Nobi, go to hell. The robot didn't say anything but stretched out its hand, with each finger like a gun barrel, pointing at Nobita. Damn it. The more Zhang Chulan looked at the robot, the more familiar it looked. He finally realized, damn, isn't this the Terminator? Could it be that in the 22nd century, the Terminator is still popular? It's incredible. Susan had some questions. What is the Terminator? Zhang Chulan looked at him in disbelief. Brother San, you don't know what the Terminator is. It's a series of movies, a very popular one, about the future robots awakening their self-awareness and fighting against humans. Su-san touched his chin. Awakened self-awareness, so Doraemon is actually awakened self-aware robots. Why don't I see the kind of thing happening in the future? Zhang Chulan thought about it and felt that this question was really worth exploring. Maybe people in the future have come up with a solution, but if you say that, I'm afraid there will really be robots committing crimes in the future. After all, not every robot is as kind as Doraemon and Doraemon. The screen continued to play. At this critical moment, Luli did not stand in front of Nobita without hesitation, and powerful bullets poured towards Luli like a rain of bullets. Although she is a robot, Luli has also been equipped with a perception system, so she can clearly feel the pain of bullets hitting her back one after another. But even so, she protected Nobita tightly and didn't let him get hurt. Nobita's eyes were red, but he was just an ordinary child without a weapon in his hand, and he couldn't think of a way to help even if he wanted to. I can only watch the harm. Incompetent robot, get out of here. Luli, get out of the way. Nobita also shouted, I won't let you kill Mr. Nobita, Luli said firmly. Her back was badly injured at this moment. Large amounts of surfaces were smashed, revealing the machine parts inside, which to robots were no different from human flesh and blood. Damn it, there's no time. The wanted criminal duo was very anxious and had to continue attacking Luli. With Luli's current state, she would definitely not be able to hold out for long. Seer World Zero, asshole. How dare you hit Luli so hard? Atira clenched his fists, feeling extremely angry. After all, Luli was also a robot like him, so Atira could not tolerate it. Xiaozhi was also frightened. Hiss! It's so scary. The damage is so severe, even the parts are exposed. It won't be scrapped, right? Kalyulu was very moved. Oh my god. Luli actually blocked all the damage for Nobita. Is this the love between robots and humans? I might consider finding a human in the future. Hearing this, Xiaozhi touched his head and said, I feel like you're not suitable. Luli is a humanoid robot, after all. We don't look like humans at all. One Piece world, hateful. It's unforgivable, absolutely unforgivable. Looking at the seriously injured Luli in the picture, Sanji was so angry that flames appeared in his eyes. He actually attacked a lady, and he was so ruthless. Even though he is a robot, this is absolutely not allowed. What he hated most was guys beating women, and the one who beat such a beautiful and lovely woman was even more unacceptable. If I were here, I would definitely kick the robot's head off. Bastard. 2.9-inch back to the light curtain, however, suddenly the fire stopped. It turned out that the robot had malfunctioned. However, they still have a backup plan. Next second, green slime was released from the robot's body and stuck to Luli's body, and there was actually a bomb installed on the slime. It's like sticking a bomb on you, waiting to be blown up into the sky. The wanted criminal duo laughed. Next, the two flew away. Luli struggled hard, but the mucus was very sticky and stuck Luli tightly to the ground, while Nobita was under Luli. In other words, if this bomb explodes, both Nobita and Luli will die. Post views 51. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 131. I have found the bluebird, but it flew away again. Doraemon Universe. Nobita's house, hateful. These two guys are so shameless. If the bomb explodes, Nobita and Luli will be killed. Fat Tiger felt itchy and wanted to go through the light curtain, pull the two guys out of the robot, and beat them up. Doraemon's expression was also not good. Oh no, it stuck with the bomb. It would be fine if it was normal, but Luli suffered too many attacks just now to protect Nobita. In my opinion, many functions of her body may have been broken, and now she should not have the strength to break free of this slime. Damn it, I was knocked to the ground. Hearing this, Shizuka's face turned pale. Doesn't that mean that Nobita is dead? On the other side, Nobita lowered his head and remained silent. The scene of Luli desperately blocking the bullet for him was still echoing in his mind. Thinking of the painful expression on Luli's face, his heart was very uncomfortable. See her world hateful. They just bully Mr. Nobita because he is unarmed. If they had a gun, I wonder how they can still be so arrogant. Achira was very unconvinced. Based on Nobita's performance in the zombie world, if he was given a gun, even the tyrant could be killed. That tyrant must be much more powerful than this so-called robot. In the light curtain, Luli. I don't know if it was Nobita's shouting that gave Luli strength or what. Even though her body was covered with wounds, Luli still burst out with great strength, successfully broke free from the mucus, and then wanted to leave. However, but he was stopped by Nobita. Wait. Luli suddenly turned around. Despite the critical situation, she still smiled reassuringly. It's okay. Please leave it to me. No way. Nobita shook his head violently. Being a kind-hearted man, he could not accept Luli sacrificing herself like this. Thank you. I finally came in handy for Mr. Nobita. After saying this, Luli suddenly flew up into the sky and caught up with the robot that was trying to escape. At last, a flash of white light passed by, and suddenly there was an explosion in the sky. Boom! Luli! Nobita's painful roar and the sound of explosions mixed together, filling the air with a sad atmosphere. Luli still died, and her death was to blow up the robot. Soon, the police arrived and arrested the two. For Luli's sacrifice, everyone in the world could not help but feel regret and grief. After all, such a gentle and kind girl died like this. It was really pitiful. Damn those two bastards. Give me back Miss Luli. Woo, Miss Luli. How could you just die like this? I can't accept this. I feel that Miss Luli is so pitiful. The products she produced were defective and not liked by buyers. Then she was transformed by those two guys and had to do bad things. In the end, she chose to sacrifice herself and could not be with the person she loved. Looking at it this way, it seems that Miss Luli's life is a tragedy. I'm afraid that the happiest time in Luli's life was the time she was with Nobita. Zombie World. Bai Xiaofei sniffed and wiped away the tears from the corners of his eyes. It's so embarrassing. I'm an adult, but I still cry. But those policemen must be just there to do their job. Such a long time has passed from the time Luli started to the time she finished. What were those policemen doing? Waiting until everything is over before coming here is really disgusting. The efficiency of the police in the future is not as high as it is now. Bai Xiaofei couldn't help but complain. If Luli hadn't regained consciousness, I'm afraid Nobita, Doraemon, and Doraemon wouldn't be able to escape. It's all over, so what's the use of the police? What Bai Xiaofei couldn't accept the most was that two wanted criminals could travel from the future to the present in an instant. Does that mean the police's technology is not as good as the two wanted criminals? If they had come earlier, I'm afraid Luli wouldn't have been injured, let alone sacrificed. Doraemon Universe. Nobita's home call. Doraemon heaved a sigh of relief. The matter is finally resolved, but Luli, he glanced at Nobita beside him and saw that Nobita had a gloomy face and said nothing. Hey, Doraemon sighed. As expected, Luli's death was a big blow to Nobita. There is nothing we can do about it. Luli just died like that. Sophia couldn't accept it. She still liked Luli the robot very much. She didn't expect that she would end up like this. On the side, little Harry frowned, and his thoughts were surprisingly consistent with Bai Xiaofei's. The efficiency of these policemen was too slow. He still remembered that it was still daylight when the fight started, and now the sun was about to set, and the policemen were late. He doubted whether the future policemen could really catch the criminals with such efficiency. No wonder these two wanted criminals have been at large. The video on the light screen continued to play. Some time has passed on this day. Shizuka, Fat Tiger, and Sunio came to Nobita's house. Nobita. Doraemon opened the door and said with a smile, Nobita, Shizuka, and the others are here to play. However, Nobita just lay on the table without moving. Even though he heard what Doraemon said, he just replied nonchalantly, just say I'm not here. Doraemon blinked, a little worried. Fat Tiger and the others apologized for the swimming pool incident, and the teacher also said that they would be punished again. Shizuka also said sorry for what she has done recently. Let's go find the blue bird together. Nobita raised his head slightly and said meaningfully, I found the blue bird, but it has flown away again. Doraemon had no choice but to continue talking. It turned out that after this incident, Mirai had remodeled the entire Luli series. Now the Luli series has been re-released and appeared in front of the public. At this time, squeak. A blue bird landed by the window and exchanged glances with Nobita. Nobita suddenly shuddered and subconsciously said, Luli. But the next second, the blue bird flew over, and Nobita hurried to the window, wanting to look for it again. It was here just now, Luli, right? Doraemon smiled and said, well, Luli must have come to encourage you. 673 Nobita's mood finally improved a little, and he regained his former vitality. Luli said, I like to see other people smiling. If I keep crying like this, she will probably be very sad. The scene ends with the joint appearance of Nobita, Shizuka, Takashi, Sunio, and Doraemon. Well, the story of Nobita and Luli is very touching. If Luli had not died together with the villain in the end, otherwise, Luli might have shaken Shizuka's position as the first wife. Hearing this, everyone in the heavens and the world nodded and agreed. They also felt that if Luli and Nobita really developed, it would really have an impact on Shizuka's position. After all, Luli's personality is really amazing. She is extremely gentle, and all her gentleness is given to Nobita alone. Such a girl is irresistible to every boy. At the end, Nobita told Doraemon that he had found the blue bird, but it just flew away again. This sentence is very meaningful. Nobita gained happiness, but this happiness was too short-lived, and it only caused a little ripple in his life before it passed away. In Hyoga Hyoga, Kara held her hands, and after reading the story of Nobita and Luli, she was very touched. For Nobita, happiness was short-lived, and the same was true for Luli. From birth to the end of her life, the only thing that made Luli feel happy was probably the time she spent with Nobita. This video gave her a special understanding of robots. Robots are not just ruthless programs. Even robots have human emotions. For example, Luli, Doraemon, and Dorami are also like this. Post views. 40. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 132-132. Connie, Lottie, The Little Mermaid, Sophia. In the light curtain in the short story, there are several girls who have a crush on Nobita. For example, Connie, a hen, Lottie, etc. In a long story, there are many girls who like Nobita, but most of them are just friendships, but not to the extent of Luli, more like confidants. For example, the mermaid princess Sophia in Mermaid Wars. Seeing this, all the audience felt their heads buzzing. Mermaid princess Sophia? Doesn't that mean the other party is a mermaid? Wow, after humans, snow, back mountains, aliens, and robots, there's another new species. Oh my god, Nobita is so amazing. The girls who are interested in him don't seem normal. Damn, is this true? It seems like all species like Nobita. How strong is Nobita's charm that he can even destroy a species? So what? Although they are different species, all girls who like Nobita are good-looking. That's right, and this time it's actually a mermaid princess. She's a princess, and you can tell she's noble. Doraemon universe. In the mermaid kingdom, Sophia was startled and pointed at herself. She didn't expect that she would have a connection with Nobita later. Then a touch of excitement appeared on her face again. Little Harry, little Harry. Did you see it? It says that I'm Mr. Nobita's confidant. In that case, I can also go on adventures with Mr. Nobita, Sophia said, her eyes flickering with anticipation. As the princess of the mermaid kingdom, she has never left the mermaid kingdom since she was born. What she has always wanted is to get out of this deep sea and see the outside world. Little Harry wiped his sweat. Nobita is not really going to become a prince consort now. Is he? A human prince consort? This is the first one I've seen in all the years since the mermaid kingdom was established. However, soon, little Harry felt relieved again. With Mr. Nobita's ability, it shouldn't be a problem to convince the queen. What? Zhang Chulin's face flashed with shock. Mermaid princess. There really are creatures like mermaids in the world. I thought they were all lies for children. His impression of mermaids still remained in the fairy tale he read when he was a child, The Little Mermaid. Susie exhaled. I used to think so, but in Nobita's world, even snow and mountains can become people, and there are all kinds of aliens, so it wouldn't be strange even if there are mermaids. Hearing this, Zhang Chulon touched his head. Yeah, after all, things that are more impossible than mermaids have appeared. So why can't there be mermaids? Fruity Robo World, oh my god. This Nobita is really good at it. Pineapple Blowing Snow exclaimed. He can even deceive a princess of a country. This Nobita is more powerful than me. He always thought that he was invincible in this regard with girls. But after seeing Nobita, he found that there are always people who are better than you. However, he also mourned for Nobita in his heart for a minute. After all, the more girls there are, the better. Even with only 2, he already felt overwhelmed and couldn't balance. Not to mention the countless girls like Nobita. Damn it, Nobita, how popular are you with girls? Why haven't I heard of any of the girls listed above? The novel was taken from the Rala's website. Close where you're reading it and support us on our website for more free novels. Fat Tiger clenched his fists and looked at Nobita, his eyes full of envy and jealousy. Nobita touched his head, his eyes helpless. I don't know. I don't even know them now, and I haven't seen a mermaid with my own eyes. Doraemon was also slightly surprised. I didn't expect that creatures like mermaids really exist. Even in the 22nd century, they haven't been discovered. I didn't expect Nobita to hook up with one. His luck is really amazing. The picture on the screen continued to play the story of Sophia and Nobita is actually quite old-fashioned. Sophia accidentally came to the human world, met Nobita and his group, and then learned that her country was invaded by another species, the strange fish tribe. So, Nobita and his friends decided to protect the mermaid kingdom together with Sophia and resist the invaders. But there was one scene that I personally think is very classic. In the picture, now, Nobita and his group, as well as Sophia and a group of mermaid soldiers, are confronting the people of the strange fish tribe at the bottom of the sea. After Nobita and his companions were equipped with Doraemon's props, they also looked like mermaids. That is, the upper body was human and the lower body was a fishtail. At this tense moment, call out. A golden sword suddenly pierced through the sea and landed in front of the two parties. It appeared here because it was guided. The mermaid sword, the secret treasure of the mermaid clan, possesses extremely powerful strength and is also the artifact that the monster fish clan is looking for. The sword is. 1 year before Nobita could finish his words, a pair of black hands were on the hilt of the sword, and then the mermaid sword was pulled up from the ground. The man who drew the sword was none other than the leader of the strange fish tribe, Byagen. Seer World, this Xiaozhi blinked his eyes and couldn't help complaining. Isn't this mermaid sword a secret treasure of the mermaid tribe? How did it end up in front of the leader of the monster fish tribe? Logically, it should have gone to Sophia's hands. Isn't Sophia the princess of the mermaid tribe? Xiaozhi felt a little puzzled. Atiera touched the blade. It seems that this Byagen is very powerful. The guys from the strange fish tribe seemed to be much stronger than those from the mermaid tribe. No wonder they were invaded. He looked at the picture on the light screen again. Sophia was also holding a sword in her hand at this time, and she frowned and said, "Byagen, that mermaid sword is not something you can use." Byagen ignored Sophia, but muttered to himself, Finally, it fell into my hands. Watch out." He swung his sword violently, and a terrible, huge wave hit instantly, followed by an underwater tornado that directly swept the surrounding mermaid soldiers into it, leaving them without any ability to resist. Byagen did not stop, but swung his hand again, and the terrifying vortex attacked Nobita and his companions. Nobita and Sophia were instantly submerged in the whirlpool. Nolia Zhao. Fia leaned against a rock, resisting the terrible suction, while Nobita was holding on to a boulder tightly. After seeing the terrible power of the mermaid sword, Sophia couldn't help but feel a little desperate, thinking secretly in her heart, is it all going to end? Is it really? But just when Sophia was feeling sad, Nobita's voice suddenly rang out. "Sophia, you must get the sword back. We have all worked together to get to this point. We must not give up easily." Nobita. There was a slight movement in Sophia's blue eyes. Nobita smiled softly. Right as if infected by Nobita, Sophia also smiled and nodded vigorously. "Yes, that's right." Next second, the two of them stretched out their hands and held them together. And what they held together were their hearts that would never give up. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 133-133. Nobita's little fangirl, Clem. Alien World. After watching this scene, Zhang Chulan felt his scalp tingling. This kid Nobita is really too good at teasing. Basically, every word he said hits right into Sophia's heart, and the effect is outstanding. He finally knows why Nobita is liked by so many girls, because he is really good at talking, and he can just talk into the girls' hearts. No one could stand this. Zhang Chulan covered his heart with a look of pain and frustration. "I didn't expect that I have lived for so many years, but I can't speak as well as a primary school student. Damn, I am such a failure." Su Si patted Zhang Chulan on the shoulder and comforted him. "It's okay, Chulan. I have lived longer than you, but I can't speak as well as Nobita. This is not about age. This is talent. We just can't compare to him." After being comforted by Su Si, Zhang Chulan's mood was really better. That's right. This is indeed his talent, which can't be learned. Kamen Rider Universe. 01 World. Hey, inside the Haydn group, Haydn's eyes widened as if they were about to swallow the scene. This is a mermaid, just like the mermaid in fairy tales. I never thought that there really is such a creature in the world. And they even built a country. It's incredible. Fei Dian, or inside. Since the light screen appeared, he realized how small his knowledge was. The time they were in was just a speck of dust in the desert, and there were all kinds of different worlds in the universe. For example, the strange creatures and magical props in Nobita's world, and the Giant of Light in Nexus world. Digimon in the Digimon world, and the alien watches in Ben 10. These were all things he had never seen. Doraemon Universe. Mermaid Kingdom. Oh. Sophia looked at the screen, and her fair face turned red unconsciously. Although she had grown up, she had never been so close to a member of the opposite sex, let alone a human being. This made Sophia shy. Little Harry on the side didn't pay much attention to the princess, because after watching the video, he got an important message. That is, the leader of the strange fish tribe actually got the mermaid sword, which is not a good thing for the mermaid tribe. In addition to Sophia in Mermaid Wars, there is also Kara in Antarctic Ice who has a crush on Nobita. But, like Sophia, Kara's affection for Nobita has not yet risen to that of Luli, so she can only be called a confidant. Doraemon Universe. Hyoga, wait, is the person in the light curtain talking about me? Kara was completely confused. She had no idea that one day she would actually be on the light curtain. And she was Nobita's confidant. It turned out that she and Nobita were in the same universe. She didn't know it until now. The doctor stroked his beard. Haha, with the help of Nobita and the others, I'm afraid the problem of the ice storm giant will be much simpler. The picture on the screen continued to play. There are three girls in the long story who have feelings for Nobita. One of them is Clem in the history of space exploration. Clem is the girl that Nobita met on the planet Koa Koa. The gravity on this planet is also much smaller than that on Earth. Nobita and Doraemon naturally became superheroes again. Kokoa is a small planet in the universe. Unlike the Earth, it was developed much earlier than the Earth. In other words, it is a very young planet. Clem, his brother, and his mother live together on the planet Kokoa, but a criminal organization in the universe has set its sights on Kokoa because there's an extremely precious mineral on this planet, and those guys want to drive away the natives of this planet and rob everything on this planet. Nobita and Doraemon accidentally met Roble by chance, and Roble brought them to the planet Kokoa. On the planet Koa Koa, Nobita becomes a messenger of justice and crushes the evil guys of those criminal gangs time and time again. Because of this, Clem admires Nobita very much and becomes his little fangirl. In the picture that evening, Rober leaned against the window, still worrying about the criminal organizations. At this time, Nobita, Doraemon, Clem, and a flying rabbit-like creature came in. Seeing the sadness on Roble's face, Clem comforted him. "Brother, we still have Nobita and Doraemon." Yes, cheer up." Chammy, the flying rabbit, also said that's right. Suddenly, Roble thought of something, jumped down from the window, and handed a belt with a gun to Nobita. "Although this is my father's legacy, I think you are more suitable to own it than me." Nobita was a little surprised, but such an important thing. Roble smiled and said, "I believe it will be more valuable if you carry it with you." Hearing Roble say this, Nobita smiled slightly, nodded, and took it without saying anything else. Zombie World, wow. It's a pistol. That's really a professional match. Bai Xiaofei raised his eyebrows. The miraculous shooting skills plus the strong temperament like Superman. He only saw two words on Nobita. Invincible. Those criminal organizations may be miserable. Bai Xiaofei mourned for them in his heart for a minute. When everyone in the heavens and the world saw Nobita holding the gun, there's only one feeling. That is, this is a sure thing. After all, Nobita's marksmanship is obvious to all. It is really terrible and cannot be described. He is a total marksmanship monster. Nobita with a gun and Nobita without a gun are completely different in strength. Not to mention that on this planet, Nobita's physical fitness has become like Superman. Now that Nobita has got the gun, we can declare the game over. This Roble is really smart. He knows how to cling to the thighs. He's a young man with a promising future. This Clem is so cute. He's my type. Don't even think about it. This belongs to Nobita. It has nothing to do with you. Damn it, Nobita is already liked by so many girls. Yet he wants to compete with me for him. It's quite cute, but why is the hair green? This kind of hair on a girl is very dangerous. Is this another alien? Can't Nobita find someone from Earth? He always likes to look for something outside the Earth. And the ones from Earth are all non-human. Post views. 42. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 134-134. Clem's eyes are full of admiration. The picture on the screen continues at this time. Clem stepped forward and said, "The gift I want to give you is this." Next, she spread out her hands, and in her palms was a snowflake emitting white light. This is the snowflakes blooming on our planet. I made them into dried flowers. Wow, it's so beautiful. Nobita took it. "Look, I have one too." Roble suddenly said, "To be honest, this was my father's favorite flower before he passed away. This flower is like a talisman to me." "Thank you." Nobita smiled. Doraemon looked over and said, "It looks like a sheriff's badge." Hearing Doraemon's flower, Nobita simply pinned it on his chest. Clem blushed slightly, his eyes filled with admiration and love. "Brother Nobita, from now on, please protect us." "Of course," Nobita agreed without thinking. "I will do my best to protect you all. It's settled." Doraemon Universe. Haruo's home, damn it. Haruo pounded the bed hard, jealousy in his eyes, almost overflowing. Why does Nobita always get all the good things? I want to go to that planet too, and I will definitely become a Superman who is not inferior to Nobita. If so, Many girls will definitely fall in love with me. Nobita's home. Nobita, you dare to seduce an ignorant girl. Sunio shouted. Fat Tiger also nodded. And in front of her brother, this is too immoral. This climb is younger than all of us. How could you do this? Nobita said with a frown. What do you guys mean? I'm just protecting the weak. Don't get the wrong idea. Humph. Sunio would not believe it, of course. I see the admiration in Climb's eyes is almost gone. Damn, such a wonderful world is actually taken away by Nobita. Doraemon stroked his chin. Koa Koa? I have never heard of it before. There's another planet worth exploring. It's really great. Shizuka smiled. Well, since Nobita has got the pistol, I think it should not be a big problem to get rid of that criminal organization. Back to the light curtain, but the speed of time passing on Kokoa and Earth is different. Nobita spent several days on Kokoa, but on Earth, only a few hours passed. Also, because Kokoa is a newborn planet, the environment on the planet is much better than that on Earth. The people of Yokoya cannot stay on Earth for a long time because the air on Earth is so dirty and turbid that they cannot breathe. The passage of time is different. So, the passage of time on Earth is much slower than on Kokoa. Hualin Fei stroked his chin. If you look at it this way, if Nobita stayed on Earth for a year or two, wouldn't Climb be bigger than Nobita? This is troublesome. Yes. Meow. Xiaozhi nodded. If Nobita returns to Earth and Clem stays on Koa Koa, Nobita might not reach adulthood and Clem's life will come to an end. It seems that the two of them cannot be together, unless Nobita stays on Koa Koa or brings Clem to Earth. But the air on Earth is not suitable for Clem to live in, so Nobita can only go to Koa Koa. But I guess Nobita can't leave the people on Earth behind. That's right. This time, it was Hualin Fei's turn to nod. There are still his parents and Shizuka on Earth. Nobita definitely can't let go. Can we bring them all here? But Shizuka probably can't let go of her parents, and their parents probably have people they can't let go of. From his point of view, isn't it too many people to bring? It doesn't seem very realistic. Hey, Hualin Fei sighed. Maybe Nobita and Climb are not meant to be together after all. Tianyu suddenly said, I think the technology in the 22nd world and Nobita's world seems to be very advanced. Maybe the problem can be solved. Besides, doesn't Nobita have the gate of time and space in his hand? As long as we know the coordinates of the Koa Koa planet, I think there is still a way. Zero Seeking Flowers. The picture on the light screen continued to play with the help of Nobita and Doraemon. The criminal organization was forced to give up the plunder of the planet Koa Koa. But Karami, the leader of the organization, did not let Koa Koa Shin go, but came up with a more terrifying idea. That is to use the planetary blasting device to destroy the planet Koa Koa. This idea is really unacceptable because the planet Koa Koa was born not long ago and is in a vibrant stage. There are still many resources that have not been explored. It would be a complete waste of resources to destroy them like this. But Karami is such a ruthless character that things that have no use value will only be destroyed. After learning about Karami's plan, Nobita, Doraemon, and Rober went to stop him. Fat Tiger, Sunio, and Shizuka also came to the Kokoa planet to support Nobita at the critical moment. At last, the final battle between Karami and Nobita is a duel of gun skills. In the seer world, when Itiera saw that Karami wanted to destroy the Koa Koa star, he was so angry that he couldn't bear it. He actually wants to destroy a planet that is being developed. This guy is really inhuman. Xiaozhi also nodded, thinking that what Itiera said made sense. That's right, but he is also stupid. Why does he have to compete with Nobita in shooting when there are so many other things to compete with him? It's ridiculous to compare with what Nobita is best at. Zombie World. Bai Xiaofei felt a little confused and couldn't help but think that the universe of Nobita was too scary. A good planet was destroyed, just like that. Is there no one to care? It seems that the law of the jungle still exists in the universe. However, fortunately, the Earth in Nobita's world seems to be quite powerful. Post views. 39. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 135 and 135. Nobita's Gun Skills Feast. Miyako, the new heroine. In a light curtain in the picture, Nobita and Kurami are facing each other, and the atmosphere is tense. Kurami stared at Nobita closely, not daring to relax at all. This kid is no ordinary person. On the other side, Nobita was also very nervous. The pressure is so great. The first shot can decide the outcome. You must believe in yourself. A moment. Kurami suddenly pulled out his gun, and Nobita was no less impressive. He also pulled out his gun and opened fire. Next second, bump. Nobita's body fell to the ground first. After seeing this scene, everyone in the world couldn't believe it. Nobita actually lost in a gunfight. It was too unbelievable. After all, from the sharpshooter to the biochemical crisis, Nobita's image of being invincible in gunfighting has remained in everyone's mind. But at this moment, Nobita fell down first. No way. I didn't see it wrong. Nobita actually lost? Is this true? It's hard to believe, but this time Nobita was indeed a step slower, firing one step later than Kurami. Maybe it was because of this something is wrong. I remember that Nobita's physique was superhuman this week. So how could he be knocked down by a bullet? Maybe it's not an ordinary bullet. What? Xiaozhi's pupils widened in shock. He swallowed his saliva and spoke haltingly. Big Nobita lost. Kalulu clenched her hands. Oh no, Nobita is not in danger. Uchida was stunned and said lightly, Nobita hasn't lost yet. Who said that the one who falls down first loses? The one who can't get up first should be considered the loser. Xiaozhi and Kalulu looked over at the same time, with some confusion on their faces. The picture on the screen continued to play, however. At this time, Kurami suddenly cried out in pain and fell down, but Nobita stood up from the ground. Obviously, the winner of this game is still Nobita. Doraemon Universe. Nobita's home call. Doraemon and the others all breathed a sigh of relief and wiped the cold sweat from their foreheads. I was really scared. I thought you, Nobita, really lost. That's right, I was also scared. Nobita glanced at them and said, Who told you to have no confidence in me? Although the speed of Kurami is indeed faster than mine, its accuracy is not high. It turns out that he still won. Zhang Chulan was stunned for a moment. He thought that Nobita was sure to lose. It seems that he still underestimated the quality of the sharpshooter. Su Si touched his chin. From this point of view, the Kurami should have only hit Nobita's vital parts, and Nobita's accuracy is a little higher. He hit the vital parts, so the Kurami fell to the ground. Su-san shook his head. It's a pity. The shooting speed is indeed faster than Nobita, but the accuracy is not good. Zhang Chuan glanced at Su-san. Third brother, you are not expecting something to happen to Nobita. You can't be like this, not to mention that he is still a child. Su-san hit Zhang Chuan on the head in annoyance. What are you thinking about? I'm just talking about the facts. Nobita won. Of course, I'm very happy. In the light curtain after dealing with Kurami, it was time to say goodbye. After all, Nobita is not from Kokoa, and it is impossible for him to stay here forever. He has to return to Earth eventually. When they parted, Clem cried very sadly and handed Nobita a bouquet of flowers, asking him to never forget. I have to say, once you meet Nobita, you will regret it for the rest of your life. Doraemon Universe. Nobita's home. Nobita, you have delayed another girl, and she is still such a young girl. Shizuka looked at Nobita with an inexplicable tone and said this. Nobita touched his head and didn't know what to say. Could he really be so charming? Doraemon smiled and said, Ha! After all, what Nobita did on that planet was just like a hero. Most girls admire the strong, and Nobita is strong and gentle at the same time. Of course, Climb can't resist him. Once you meet Nobita, you will be ruined for life. Damn it, why don't girls meet me? While saying this, Fat Tiger also showed off his muscles. Although Nobita is now stronger than him, he is still much stronger than Nobita in terms of appearance. Why don't girls have a good impression of him? They're all attracted to Nobita. It's so strange. That's right. Sunio nodded. He also felt that a rich guy like him shouldn't be unpopular with girls. Doraemon glanced at Sunio and couldn't help but complain. The girls who like Nobita are either aliens or non-humans. Your money is useless to them. Some girls are even richer than you. Yeah, Fat Tiger added. And you're not as handsome as Nobita, and you're even shorter than Shizuka. Sunio, after hearing what they said, Xiaofu immediately ran to the wall and shut himself in. It turned out that his appearance had so many flaws. The picture on the screen continued to play. As for the other two, wow, they're so well made that they beat all the female characters except Shizuka and Ruli. One is Miyako from the adventure in the demon world. Miyako is in another parallel world on Earth, where 4.0 science has become superstition, and magic is the mainstream of the world. Fruity Robo World O. Pineapple blowing snows, eyes lit up. Is it the magic world? It's really interesting. I have always had a dream. Chung Liuxiang was stunned. Why did I suddenly talk about your dream? Could it be that your dream is to go to a magic world? No. Pineapple blowing snow shook his head. I want to learn a magic trick to turn stone into gold so that I can have endless gold. Ha ha. When I have money, I can find as many girls as I want. Hearing this, Chung Liuxiang was speechless. As a pure love war god, he didn't want to be entangled with several girls like pineapple blowing snow. He only wanted his Z. Post views 39. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 136. Another late night chat. Miyako falls for him in the light curtain, but the magic world is not peaceful either. There is another planet on the other side of the magic world. Demonic Star. The demon world is a planet of demons, where various kinds of demons live, and among the demons there is a supreme demon king, King Dima. King Dima has endless magical power, powerful magic, and a huge and sturdy body. Nobita and his friends are no match for him if they face him head-on. Doraemon Universe. King Dima, who is sitting on the throne, raised his eyebrows. He didn't expect that it would be his turn to appear so soon. Interesting, it seems that I can have a fight with this Nobita. King Dima laughed, but soon his smile faded, revealing a hint of viciousness. Because he remembered that in the beginning, Nobita seemed to have a title called the Demon King Slayer. So, isn't that the Demon King himself? When King Dima thought that he would be killed by a child one day, the fun he had just felt was gone, and he suddenly exerted force with both hands holding the armrests of the throne. With a click, the armrest broke instantly and fell into pieces, and below, a group of demons dared not breathe for fear that the angry King Dima would use them to vent his anger, and then there would be no place to reason. This is absurd. I have existed for thousands of years. How can I be defeated by a child? King Dima roared. Before the incident happened, he had to come up with a plan to deal with it, but he really had no idea. Miyako opened her beautiful eyes slightly, and only 2 words could be seen in her eyes. That is shock. On the side, Pastor Manu touched his beard and laughed. Ha! I didn't expect that, Miyako. You actually have this kind of relationship with Nobita. With Nobita's help, King Dima should not be able to cause any trouble. Daddy! Miyako blushed and felt a little shy. She had never thought that she would have an encounter with Nobita. The picture on the screen continued to play. After Nobita came to the magic world, he accidentally met Miyako. Miyako's father, Pastor Manu, was led by the devil to the demon world. After some hesitation, Nobita and Doraemon decided to help Miyako. They experienced countless hardships and obstacles together in the demon world. They also had late-night heart-to-heart talks. In short, Nobita directly raised Miyako's favorability to a very high level, which is completely incomparable to any other female character in the movie. In the picture in a starry sky, a magic blanket is flying in the sky. At this moment, a pink kitten is sitting on the magic carpet with a sad expression, as if thinking about something. Next second, the magic carpet opened and Nobita poked his head out. Miyako, but before he finished speaking, Nobita was stunned because he saw Miyako lowering her head. Even her cat ears were drooping, and she seemed to be in a bad mood. Seeing this, all the audience were stunned. Miyako is actually a female cat. What's going on? Hey, Miyako is actually a cat. Is Nobita going to have another creature as his girlfriend? Ah, this is Miyako. She is different from what I imagined. Why is she a cat? So what? I think even cats are very cute. Look, their bodies are still pink. Although there are all kinds of creatures in Nobita's harem, they're all human-shaped after all. But why is Miyako just a cat? Shouldn't she be a cat girl or something? No, you're talking as if Miyako is yours. You guys are picking on her. Even if she's just a cat, people may not look down on you. Doraemon universe. In the demon world, what? How did I become a cat? Not only the audience, but even Miyako herself felt a little confused. Although it is cute to become a cat, she still prefers human form. What on earth is going on here? Miyako looked puzzled. The full moon priest beside her touched his chin and thought for a while. It should be some kind of curse magic. I seem to have seen it in a magic book before. This kind of magic can turn people into other creatures. But, Miyako, you are lucky. At least you turned into a cute cat. Most people are not so lucky. They're mice, toads, skunks, and the like. Miyako felt a little sick when she thought about turning into those animals. Cats seemed to be pretty good, but what she didn't know was that she really turned into a mouse at first. It's okay. I have a way to remove this magic, but I seem to have been captured by the devil. Manyu Priest scratched his head in embarrassment. He didn't expect that he had no room to play and had to ask his daughter and Nobita to save him. It's really embarrassing. Nobita's home hiss. The moment he saw Miyako, Doraemon's pupils turned into a heart shape, and he was completely attracted by Miyako. What a cute cat, so great. Nobita looked at Doraemon with some disdain and complained. Doraemon, calm down. Your expression now is like a chick in the train. If Miyako really saw it, I'm afraid people would be scared away by you. Shizuka's eyes lit up. Wow, I didn't expect Miko to be such a beautiful cat. It must feel great to hold it in my arms and touch it. Nobita stroked his chin and said, I feel like Miko must have been transformed into this state by someone using magic. She should be a human. The image on the screen continued to play. Nobita was stunned for a moment before he shouted again, Miyako. This time, Miyako heard Nobita's voice, came back to her senses, wiped her tears behind Nobita's back, and then turned around. Nobita, what happened? That Nobita pursed his lips and said, Doraemon said he wants to eat. Really? Miyako was shocked. She was really surprised because she didn't remember Doraemon bringing any food up. It's amazing, Nobita said with a smile. It's just a prop like a tablecloth. Just say what you want to eat, and it will appear no matter what it is. Hearing Nobita's words, Miyako smiled and said, Great, my stomach is growling with hunger. Let's go straight to the restaurant. As Miyako's voice fell, a big hole appeared in the center of the magic carpet, leading to the space below the magic carpet. However, just when Miyako wanted to go down after hesitating for a while, Nobita called out, Miyako. Miyako raised her head, a little confused. Next second, Nobita squatted down, came close to Miyako, and said incoherently, that I will do my best. Post views 35. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 137-137. Zhang Chulan, Pineapple Snowflake Cheat Sheet. Learn Nobita's technique of picking up girls. In the light curtain, that I will work hard and try my best to rescue Miyako's father. Nobita smiled softly, and a confident look appeared on his young face. I promised you, so you have to cheer up, Nobita. After hearing what Nobita said, Miyako was startled at first. Then she smiled and her cheeks were slightly rosy. Gentle opening. Thank you, no. Before Nobita finished speaking, Miyako gently patted Nobita's face with her cat's paw, and a cat's paw print was imprinted on one side of Nobita's face. Nobita laughed and quickly chased after him. Hiss! Zhang Chulan took a breath of cold air, not daring to hesitate, and quickly picked up a notebook and hurriedly wrote it down. Su Si came over curiously. Chulan, what are you writing? Zhang Chulan replied while writing. Of course I am writing down what Master Daxiong said just now. It is so perfect. Although it is just a few short sentences, it hits the heart directly. I don't know how much Miyako's favorability has been increased directly. Great, this is what I want to learn. This is the art of language. Su Si heard this, and a group of black lines appeared on his face. You are really hard working to find a girlfriend. Have you studied so seriously before? Zhang Chulan was very disdainful. Learning is not that important. These are all practical knowledge. It turns out that late-night chats are the best way to increase favorability. Fruity Robo World. Not only Zhang Chulan, but also Pineapple Blowing Snow was taking notes at this moment. Marvelous. Those few words just now were really great. If you meet a girl you like in the future, just say them to her. It will definitely be effective. Pineapple Blowing Snow was very impressed. He had to admit that Nobita was even better than him in this aspect. Orange Liuxiong was speechless. Are you going to say the same thing to other girls? Could it be that the fathers of the other girls have also been captured by the devil? TSK Tisk. Pineapple Blowing Snow shook her head and glanced at Chang Liuxiong. Sure enough, your rank is still too low. Just make a slight adjustment. Miyako's father was captured by the Demon King. Then I will go find those girls whose fathers were captured by Dongfang Kyubai. One Punch World. Saitama was also watching the screen at this moment, but his mind was not on Nobita and Miyako, but on the magic carpet under their feet. He touched his bald head, and there was some curiosity in his dull eyes. This magic carpet is really magical. It looks so small, but there's a hidden space underneath. Is this space technology? If I can have such a magic carpet, I won't be afraid of not having enough space at home in the future. The picture returned to the light curtain. Later, in the process of saving the full moon, priest Nobita and Miyako are trapped in a cave by a group of demons. Miyako wanted to act as bait to help Nobita escape, and Nobita said that even if he was useless, he couldn't leave Miyako behind and escape. Miyako said that she was very happy to have the adventure with Nobita, and then rushed out to lure the enemy in the picture at this moment. Miyako and Nobita were hiding in a cave, and demons were chasing them from outside following the smell. Oh no! Nobita's expression was ugly. If he was caught by the devil, he would definitely be eaten. Miyako handed the only stone hat to Nobita. Come on, put on quickly. As long as you put on this hat, your presence will instantly be reduced to nothing, and you will be invisible in the eyes of others. Nobita took the hat, but did not put on immediately. Instead, he asked, "But what about you, Miyako?" Miyako spread out her cat paws, with a small scroll in her hand. The reason why the group of demons chased Miyako and her companions was to take away this scroll, because this scroll holds the secret to defeating King Dima. Miyako also gave the shrunken scroll to Nobita. I believe that the part that has not been deciphered must contain information on how to defeat the devil. I believe you and Doraemon can use this thing. Can it be used? Nobita was stunned. Then Miyako said, I will go stop the demons, you go. Obviously, she placed all her hopes on Nobita, and she wanted to sacrifice herself so that Nobita could escape. Wait a moment. Nobita could no longer sit still and stepped forward to grab one of Miyako's arms. No matter what, I can't leave a girl alone and run away. Miyako was silent for a while, then turned her head and looked at Nobita with her beautiful eyes. So, can you use magic? Can you fight the devil? If we were here, both of us would be caught. Then who would protect the earth? As she spoke, Miyako shed tears, and this string of words instantly silenced Nobita. Indeed, he doesn't know magic and is unarmed. He has no chance of being a match for those demons. Staying here will only hinder Miyako. Nobita lowered his head, but Miyako suddenly smiled and her tone became gentle again. I'm sorry for yelling at you. I'll leave everything to you. Miyako Nobita said, Can we meet again? Miyako did not answer, but said, It's great to be friends with you. Although it's only for a short time, I'm so happy. Goodbye. After saying that, Miyako rushed out directly, holding a sword and fighting the devil. After Miyako had attracted all the demons away, Nobita finally showed up. Looking at Miyako's back, Nobita muttered to himself, Miyako, I'm sorry. I will come back to save you. Spell whirl fuck. Xiaoyu couldn't help but swear. I really envy Nobita. He can always participate in the event of protecting the earth. I wish I could do it too. Xiaoyu. Hearing this, Chenlong frowned and taught. Fighting with demons is not something to be happy about. You may lose your life if you are not careful. That world is really outrageous. They actually let Nobita and other children protect the world. Really? On the other side, the Holy Lord, who is still in the form of a sculpture, is also watching the screen. Oh, big devil, That's interesting. I really want to see how strong the big devil in Nobita's world is. Chopping Knife World Miyako-chan is so gentle. Ito Makoto sighed and was instantly intoxicated by Miyako's gentleness. She would even sacrifice herself for Nobita, but why didn't he meet such a good girl? It can be seen that Miyako really likes Nobita. Kara is also a woman, and she can see at a glance that Miyako definitely has more than just a good impression of Nobita, and she must also have feelings for him. After all, the effect of Nobita's night talk in the previous scene is really great. Every word he said touched Miyako's heart. If she were Miyako, she probably wouldn't be able to resist. 138. Miyako and Nobita part ways. Liliulu appears in the light curtain, the last one. The Demon King was defeated, and Nobita and Miyako took a walk and had a long chat by the lake. In the Demon World Star, after seeing the light curtain, several greetings appeared on King Dima's head. What the hell is this? King Dima is the most powerful and terrifying Demon King in the Demon World Star, but he was defeated in just one sentence. Don't you want to give any plot at all? Bastard! King Dima couldn't help but yelled, his chest full of anger. As the king of demons, didn't he have any dignity? The picture on the screen continued to play. In the picture, Miyako smiled and said, "So you guys came from another world? Is your world so beautiful?" "Yeah." Nobita nodded gently. "After that incident, I feel that the earth is now particularly beautiful." Miyako looked at Nobita and said, "Luckily you guys are protecting the earth. You are so brave." "No, we didn't do anything." Miyako asked 560. "Do you still want to go back?" Nobita replied, "Well, it seems like there's no way to stay in a magical world, but I think it's great to be able to meet Miyako." Hearing this, Miyako stood up and said excitedly, "Me too. I have such good memories." "Me too." The two held hands together. "Goodbye. I hope we can meet again in the future." Inhuman world, tisk tisk. I'm really more and more envious of this kid Nobita. Zhang Chulan was already numb. If I go back, there's Shizuka, and if I stay here, there's Miyako. It seems that no matter where he goes, there are girls who like him. Su-si touched his chin. This Miyako looks older than Nobita. Maybe Nobita prefers girls of the same age, but I think there's nothing wrong with older girls. Su-san sighed. I have to say, none of these girls look bad. It's too outrageous. Doraemon Universe. In the Demon Realm, Miyako looked at the picture and felt a little bit sorry. Hey, in the end, Nobita still chose Aft to go back. Pastor Manu laughed. Of course, after all, their parents and others are in the original world, but don't worry, since they can come to our world once, they can definitely come to our world a second time. Nobita's home. I can't believe that Nobita would choose to come back. I thought Nobita had already indulged in Miyako's gentleness. Sunio said sarcastically. Nobita was speechless. I am not that kind of person. I came back just like Climb did last time. Our original world is still the best. In a light curtain, the other one is Liliulu from the Iron Man Corps. She was originally a robot in the Utopia. Seeing this, everyone was shocked by Liliulu's beauty. Although Nobita's first few girls were also beautiful, Liliulu was even more exquisite. So pretty, I like this type. What's the point of liking it if it's not yours? Such a beautiful girl. You tell me she is a robot? What a pity. So what if they are robots? As long as there is love, robots can still get married. I really like this Liliulu. Mechanical Utopia. This name sounds very peaceful. It must be a great country. Doraemon Universe. In Mechanical Utopia, I saw my figure appear on the light screen in an instant. Liliulu was stunned for a moment, and then she became worried. Could this light screen expose the Earthlings' plan to conquer their planet? That would be terrible. The picture on the light screen continued to play. They came to Earth to build a base in order to conquer the Earth and capture humans as slaves. However, by mistake, Nobita took away the engineering robot. And then, with the help of Nobita, without knowing it, she carried out her plan in the mirror world. Nobita's home, what? Conquer the Earth. Do you still want to turn humans into slaves? Nobita and the others were all shocked. They didn't expect Liliulu to come and invade the Earth. Doesn't that mean she is their enemy? Bastard. Fat Tiger was immediately furious. Although Liliulu was very pretty, they were about to invade their planet. So who would care whether she was pretty or not? These robots are really powerful. They even dare to invade the Earth. Do they really think that we Earthlings are made of mud? Doraemon, hurry back to the 22nd century, summon 1,000,000 troops, and bring the latest weapons of destruction. We will directly take over and invade the mechanical utopia. Hearing these words from Fat Tiger, Doraemon was full of black lines. I'm going to find 1,000,000 troops for you, and we don't know where the mechanical utopia is. At this time, Sunio suddenly said, Nobita, how can you help this guy? Although she is very beautiful, you can't be confused by her beauty. Nobita explained, I'm not that kind of person. I saw it clearly without knowing it. Super Beast World, damn it. Hualin Fei couldn't help but swear, why does it feel like the Earth in Nobita's world has so many disasters? Meow, Xiaozhi nodded. He had this feeling a long time ago. It feels like if it weren't for Nobita and the others, the Earth would have been destroyed countless times. Now, there's a robot that wants to invade the Earth, but this robot is really pretty. The screen continued to play. After the plan failed, he was hit by the explosion and was seriously injured. He gradually recovered under the care of Shizuka. She also developed human emotions because of Nobita and Shizuka, but in terms of the choice of position, Lilu is extremely entangled. On one side is her own but cold country, and on the other side is Nobita and Shizuka, who are gentle to her. In the picture, Nobita found Liliulu sitting on the stairs at the subway station, with her head down, thinking about something. Nobita. After hearing Nobita's voice, Liliulu stood up and looked back. Nobita said, Shizuka is really worried about you. Come on, come back with us, however. Liliulu refused and said, I can't go back with you. Then he raised his finger. I will report to the commander-in-chief and expose your tricks. Post views. 39. Check out the title King Daxiong. All the characters in the world are Num Chapter 139. Atieta. Nobita. Shoot and kill Liliulu. Seer World, this bastard. When he heard that Liliulu was going to expose Nobita and the others, Atieta couldn't help but curse. This ungrateful bastard, Nobita and the others not only saved her, but also treated her injuries. And she actually repays Nobita and the others like this. Not only do they want to go back, but they also want to expose what happened to Nobita. As for Liliulu's beauty, he couldn't feel it all. After all, for them, the beauty of Liliulu was not in his aesthetic taste at all. Calm down. I don't think Liliulu will say this. Xiaozhi has confidence in Liliulu. After all, from what I've seen before, although Liliulu is quite loyal to her country, this so-called mechanical utopia doesn't seem to be as beautiful as its name. As soon as Xiaozhi thought about this, the information about the mechanical utopia appeared on the screen. The mechanical utopia is a country with only robots. The first two robots, Yam and Sham, were created by a human doctor. Yam and Sham continued to make robots after that. Their original intention was to create an ideal country for robots. However, due to the development of the times, even robots have developed slavery, and noble robots can bully slave robots at will. And now, slave robots have been fully liberated. But in order to fill the gap of slave robots, the mechanical utopia has launched the Earthling Capture Plan. The purpose is to capture the Earthlings and send them to the mechanical utopia as slaves. The current supreme commander of the mechanical utopia, also known as the commander-in-chief by Liliulu, has a group of extremely large and powerful Iron Men under his command. Because of this, in the eyes of the mechanical utopia, they are the sons of God, and robots are the center of the universe. Seeing the birth process of the mechanical utopia, the audiences of all the heavens and the worlds were boiling with excitement. This is the mechanical utopia. It doesn't feel ideal at all. Don't look down on us. You actually want to capture us humans as slaves. You're such a bastard. If they dare to come to our world, believe it or not, we will just destroy their power reactor. Yam and Sham, it feels like Adam and Eve. Moreover, the earliest robots were made by humans. They say they're the sons of God. So doesn't this mean that humans are God? The universe is centered on robots. I have never seen such a ridiculous statement in my life. Inhuman world, yeah. Zhang Chulan touched his chin and said, I feel that the history of this mechanical ideal country is very similar to that of humans. It is completely repeating the same mistakes. It's just that humans didn't go looking for new slaves. Actually, that's not right. Those animals should be replacing humans. Susi shook his head. This mechanical utopia is not what I imagined. At first, I thought it was really that kind of utopia with no war, no disaster, only peace and beauty. Su-san complained. It's impossible to think about it. If that's the case, will they still invade the Earth? The picture on the screen continued to play. This time it returned to the previous picture, hearing Lilialu's words. Nobita's face suddenly changed. What? If you really do this, everyone in the real world will. Liliala nodded. Yes.
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.